Hi, everybody. Welcome to Shielded Tomorrow. Sorry, Hector threw me off. He called for red alert, and I was like, oh, my God. Wait. I'm the GM. Okay. I was getting ready to grab my momentum. Okay, so, yeah, a little bit of a smaller group today because we're missing Bonnie and we're missing Gina. If you get a chance, go check out Gina's Instagram account. She's literally just posting videos of her with farm animals.
They're so cute.
I'm convinced that we just need to have a show of Gina with farm animals.
Yes, sounds amazing.
It's genius, and I'm going to take full credit for it. And a couple of announcements today. Real quick, I want to start off by saying that tomorrow we are celebrating the 3rd year anniversary of the GNS live stream here at GNS Live. We've been doing this for 3 years now. It's gone through a lot of incarnations, lots of ups and downs, but it has never stopped being a place of love and positivity, and that's you guys. So tomorrow we're going to be doing something a little fun. It'll be me, Amy Dallin, and Sax Carr running a D&D game set in Taldore, and I can now reveal to you that it is going to be during the Chroma Conclave arc. So I've been chatting. We've been like talking to Matt and getting. It's going to be. I've been billing it as the Rogue One of the Chroma Conclave arc.
Yeah.
I can't give away much more than that, but we're going to be following a bunch of adventurers.
Everybody's going to die at the end?
Yeah.
Is that what?
So,
all right.
We're going to be following a bunch of adventurers somewhere else in Taldore, and you're going to get to see what goes on. So, that's that. Let's see, what else can I tell you guys? We have our giveaway as well today. I'm going to have to read off my legalese. So we're having a giveaway for today. It's going to be another 2 Star Trek Adventure PDF core books that we're going to be giving away, and as well as 2 Federation faction packs for Xbox on Star Trek Online. So those, all you have to do is be active in chat. No purchase necessary. Open to all legal residents of the United States, excluding Rhode Island, which always cracks me up, and I'm sorry for Rhode Island.
What's going on in Rhode Island?
We should change those laws.
I know there's a lot of questions, but this is like, because we had a lot of people asking, does that mean people in the UK can't enter to win? And actually, I think that's exactly what that means, which is kind of shitty, but what are you going to do? California gambling laws. Must be over 18 years or older to enter. Find official rules here, and just assume that the link popped up underneath me when in fact it's in the chat and whatnot. All anyone has to do to be considered is to be active in the chat with the show and obviously be a legal resident of the United States. So I apologize to half of the podcast of Below Decks. We'll pull the winners near the end of the show, and I will announce them before we sign off. So, yeah, good luck to everybody. And, of course, they announced, too, that they're coming out with the Beta Quadrant core book.
Yeah.
And the Command core book.
Yeah.
And I've already gotten a sneak peek at those. And, oh, man. I finally have stats for some things that I've been looking for stats for. I haven't
Handsomeness?
What's that?
Roll for sexiness?
Roll for sexiness.
Finally
it's
have
true.
that?
They created
so what did I miss exactly?
They created a sexiness table.
It was crazy, Amy. It was nuts.
It is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
was I holding us back? Like, what happened?
When the doc's away, the crew will play.
Yeah, man. Of all the episodes to miss last week, Amy, my God.
I want just a whole episode of Amy watching the episode and
Amy watches Shielded Tomorrow.
I want
live
this.
on Alpha. We have another special edition of Sam Loses Their Shit today.
What? I wasn't prepared.
No, you weren't prepared.
You're never prepared.
Sometimes I see him like carrying boxes, but
Dun, 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 dun.
It was a box. I thought it might be a box, and it's a box.
We actually had a lot of fan mail come in, but we're gonna wait until Bonnie and Gina are here to open all of it. So, but
oh my gosh, this is so useful for me.
What? Oh, cool. It's a art book.
Ooh.
Oh, rad.
Beautiful. Color and Light, a guide for the realist painter. People who know the story of Bad Hands, Bad Drawings, which is my hashtag for the art I do and post on Twitter, know that I can't draw lines, so I took up painting, and I really, really, really enjoy painting, and I'm learning a lot precisely about color and light as a result. This is wonderful, and by James Gurney, creator of Dinotopia.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I got
Who's
something
got something
too.
with George stuck in their head now?
There's a note.
I love Dino
What's the note? Yeah.
I keep hearing good things about this book, so I got us both a copy. Happy drawing from Lynette, also known as Blue Linnet, who
Yay. So
is
sweet.
goals. Keep
Right
being our
on.
goals.
Nice.
May this further your goals and goalsiness. Goalsitude?
Yeah, I like
Goalsitudinosity.
Goldmiditude.
So,
Yeah.
to Spikey
Spiky!
had given me a heads up that he was doing this a while ago, and it finally got here. Spikey, it finally got here. Check that.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa,
Oh
look at
snap!
that
That
beauty.
looks so good. Oh,
My
snap.
new GM screen. This is so damn pretty.
That looks great. I love the bag.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't been able to put the tables in
beautiful.
yet because I need to sort of print them out custom tabled. But
need to
move
this
into it.
is the this
That's
I can't
pretty.
tell you, man. Like having GM tools is the way to my heart, and this is one of the most beautiful.
Wow.
I can't. I
Looks
just
like
want to.
really good Star Trek comic book art.
Yeah, seriously.
Really clean,
Love
really
that
nice.
It's incredible. I almost there's a part of me that's like don't use it. Frame this thing like
Nah, use it.
Put it up and like, but it's so great. Anyway, so I know I thanked you a bajillion times. Thank you a bajillion and one times. This is amazing. This is so pretty. I'm gonna set this up to be used next week when I print out the tables. But yeah, holy hell, well done.
That's
This
cool.
is gorgeous. And everybody else who had sent in stuff, we did get a bunch of packages. So. We're gonna wait until our whole crew is here to open them because a few of them have stuff for everybody, so we want to be in there for that.
Cool.
And I believe, unless there's anything else, I think that's all for our announcements today.
Is there any
Yeah.
announcements?
Okay. Oh, Sam. Yes. Would you like to announce something?
Elisa, do you have an announcement?
Just the Improvised Generation opened last weekend.
Right.
And
Yeah.
season 4, episode 1 is on YouTube now.
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh! That's
all.
I get to watch
Cool.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my announcement. I didn't mean to jump the gun, but I'm excited.
Excellent. All right.
Nope, knocked it down.
All right.
All right. Cool. I think we can do this now. Let's start tonight's episode of Shield of Tomorrow.
Let's.
And that's why you all disintegrate immediately.
I'm at peace with that.
Did I not just tell you?
That's why I said it, because
That's
you
fine.
told me not to kill everybody. And I'm like,
That's a
well,
good
I
reason.
guess that means everyone's gonna die.
So ornery.
Getting out of here a little early today.
Backup characters.
Good reason.
I'm so proud.
Okay, yes, we have quite an interesting episode today. So it's going to be, being that there's only 4 of us today, we actually get to play a little bit more in the moments, get to have a little more player interaction going on today. We won't have to drive too much. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap.
Yes.
Of last episode
For Amy.
because Amy, jumping from state to state doing con things, has not been able to catch up on Shield of Tomorrow. This is not. I'm not bringing this up to shame Amy. I'm bringing this up because we all get to see Amy react as I give this recap.
Prepare your feels.
So
You were not prepared.
setting into Space Dock. So the crew of the USS Sally Ride has been finally given shore leave. After non-stop pressure from Klingon attacks and dodging Federation intelligence and encountering Section 31 shadow figures and everything else that's happened to this crew since you left the Alpha Quadrant, the crew of the Sally Ride is finally getting a chance to enjoy some R&R. And on the first day of R&R, quite a lot happened. Almost as if things have been pent up for a while. We began with an interesting conversation between a very drunk Mala Ren and Zadis, which was then intercepted by Lark, and those two went back to the quarters after Zadis bid them goodnight and had some friendship moments there where finally Mala opened up. My God, Gina has been sitting on Mala's backstory.
Right?
Finally opened up a little bit to Lark, and it's safe to say there's a little bit of a love triangle question mark going on between the two of them and Zadis. God, so much to cover from last episode. Then, of course, we also got a message from an Ambassador Rel straight to Talon, complete with a blueprint to some early Bajoran spacecraft that were just uncovered in Starfleet archives thanks to the information exchange between Bajor and Starfleet. This
One
also
is a blueprint to your heart.
Yes. This also came with a message saying, essentially a quick summary of the message is, whether you crush back on me or not, I'm still down because I'm down. And
It was very charming.
yeah, he was very straight. He's like, I'm just grateful to be your friend. If I can love you like that, then I'm good to go. Kind of like the arc of the message, which led to a very endearing scene where Talon approached Dorothy Baker and said, how exactly do I crush back on somebody? Because I dig this guy.
How do I do the crush thing?
Yeah. So, which was a fun scene. Yeah, Amy, you're going to be doing that the entire episode. Next, just jumping around a bit. Of course, the holodeck the holosuites are being activated. The other big reveal that happened last game was the USS Dauntless pulled into dock, and that was a big reveal because the Dauntless should not be here. Even though there is a truce now and a ceasefire, as I pointed out to Hector, Raphael was able to make the connection with Dauntless pulling into space dock, and he's not the only one that noticed this or realized this, but with Dauntless pulling into space dock, it only meant that the Dauntless was arriving from a destination that had to have been close by. There's no way it arrived from the Alpha Quadrant, which means, putting two and two together, USS Dauntless never left the Shackleton Expanse and was probably kept on station keeping somewhere out, just like the other Federation assets were. Meaning that Admiral Hebert keeps multiple aces up her sleeve when Starfleet personnel lives are at risk. It establishes the Federation as the dominant power in the Shackleton Expanse that y'all know of, having one of the biggest ships, most powerful ships in the Shackleton. That's aside from perhaps that crazy, powerful Romulan warbird that you encountered briefly above. Brief encounter with Captain UCAB, and he was on his way as his crew was disembarking onto Narendra Station. Narendra is getting very crowded now. It's actually starting to look like an active space station. Personnel got a little edgy when the Dauntless showed up. Some Klingon personnel got pretty pissed off about it, and others were just a little more interested in what was going on with the holosuite. A truce is a truce as far as they're concerned. Kargan, on the other hand, announced his displeasure by destroying half the Admiral's office and storming out, which Hebert found amusing. Not that she displayed that in front of the general, but found that amusing. Also moving forward, the intelligence officer that you met, Forkin, has also revealed a lot of information to Rue about their encounters and their experiences with the symbiont and how to address some of the issues of having these latent memories embedded deep within the symbiont, these lives that have lived, these personalities that still exist inside. And is encouraging Rue to basically utilize their skill and really finally trying to, I don't know the best way to say it, but to put Dryden in line. Mm-hmm. Not that he's out of control, but apparently, pulled out of the symbiont memory the way he has been. He's interacting on a regular basis with Rue. Mm-hmm. And Dryden, the memory Dryden, has told you, Janelle, time and time again, that if this is not fixed, if he's not placed back, then he could drive you insane. We did have a moment last game where for a second you thought you saw yourself standing on the other side of the room and you were Dryden.
It's fine.
It only lasted for a moment.
Everything's fine.
Can I just wave my arms and you know what it means?
a plan was established to basically tap the information that one Commander Tolosh had to start making the moves into taking down General Kargan. Rue decided to take it upon themselves to go down to speak to Tolosh personally. This led to some very violent flirting in the turbolift and sex. So after that,
the information.
yeah, and
Sex.
Nice.
and yes. And a scene with Marvin Gaye playing in the background and a Klingon doing a very bad rendition of "Let's Getting It On."
Wait, was Marvin Gaye canonically playing?
It should have been. I'm trying. There's
Is
got to
that
be a
the
rendition of that
Turbolift
out there somewhere.
What's your turbolift music?
Turbolift music?
Yeah, did you make your ship play Marvin Gaye?
No, there was no
on the show.
music. I was just kind of adding that color commentary. But I imagine if there was elevator music, it's still the girl from Ipanema. No matter what you do, you cannot get away from it. It's still
You were on
there.
the station?
Even on the
He
station,
was
it
on the
persists.
station.
So as we continued moving forward, this led into a very awkward encounter between Lark and Zadis, where they flat out started talking about their feelings. Lark was completely taken off guard, and Zadis was essentially rejected right there on the spot, inadvertently, in which he retreated immediately.
She ran away.
Miscommunicado.
And then was brought back by bumping into Talon, who was coming to say hello. So her escape plan was foiled accidentally, which led to Zadis running away. And all of this happening in the background as Martinez decided to approach one Tanya Moore and ask her out on a date, which he blatantly did. Unlike everybody else,
The only functional person on our ship.
Janelle Rue did not beat around the bush at all and flat out asked her on a date, in which she said yes. They were going to attend the holosuite ceremony together, but she still had some work to do. So she asked the captain, before, just so I don't leave you waiting, can you meet me at the cargo bay just so I can get some of the new volunteers offloaded from the engineering
for sure,
squads.
that'll be no big deal. Volunteers? Yeah, I'll show up. Yeah, totally. Cool.
So he agreed, and so he showed up. And they started up a conversation as people were unloading, and that's when Rafael Martinez glanced up out of the corner of his eye. Bunch of people exiting the ramp of this cargo ship, coming down into the cargo bay. Lots of them just walking past, unnoticeable. Making your check, however, something caught Hector's eye, which was, of course, I didn't describe it at the time, but it was the glint of a Starfleet insignia on one of the vests of these people descending from the ramp. And it was, in fact, Captain Montgomery Scott of the USS Enterprise, walking down the ramp, leaving Rafael Martinez in hushed awe as he approached Tanya Moore, having no clue who he is. Just that he's a qualified engineer, a little behind on the times, but competent to be able to lend a hand to some of the issues that Narendra is having.
It's gonna be such a bummer when he turns out to be a changeling.
Oh wow.
Man,
Buzzkill Sam.
Commander Killjoy, yo.
Commander
I'll keep
I do my
Killjoy.
job.
In case people don't know, if they're watching this, in case they don't know how Montgomery Scott or Scotty could be alive in our time period, Eric, how does that happen?
So this is going off of the episode Relics.
Yes.
Which was the episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where they discovered Scotty crashed, his ship had that he was a passenger on, had crashed on top of a Dyson sphere. A mythological, this thing was not supposed to exist. And they discovered that he had kept himself alive by cycling his pattern through the transporter buffer for 70-something years, and was the last survivor of the ship. Fun little side note, this episode came out before Star Trek Generations. And so Scotty exits the transporter pad. When he hears the name Enterprise, he thinks Kirk came to save him. In Star Trek Generations later, it revealed that Scotty was present when Kirk supposedly died. So discrepancies.
But then they covered that up by being like, "Oh, he got his brain scrambled a little bit."
Honestly,
with the pattern buffer.
that is
He
totally,
was like,
that is totally believable.
70 years.
70 years in a transporter buffer. I'm going to
He's
cut
gonna
some
come out
slack.
like Jim Kirk. Like, of course he is, because he's
He's like,
totally
maybe it was
cut-
all a dream.
yeah.
And let's face it, from Doctor Who to Star Trek, writers contradict themselves all the time. It does not affect how much we love the show or the stories. We're just gonna take it and keep running with it. As of right now, however, Rafael Martinez is standing in front of a living legend and a man that he grew up reading about. Tanya is in the middle of greeting him, and she stopped and stared at Rafael, and she glances back at him and says, Are you okay?
I'm so sorry, Tanya. Yes. Yes, I am fine. I'm fine. I'm so sorry, Tanya. You are Montgomery Scott.
I am.
You discovered the equation for transwarp beaming. You traveled to the 1980s. You were friends with James Kirk.
Hi, I seem to remember all this.
I'm very sorry. I apologize. You were greeting Miss Moore here, Tanya. You can proceed.
I didn't catch your name, lad.
Raphael. I'm Captain Raphael Martinez.
Captain, you got
Yes.
a ship of your own then?
I do, yes. The Sally Ride, the USS Sally Ride.
Oh, she's a Starfleet vessel.
Yes.
Well, it's always a pleasure to meet another captain. And he sticks his hands out. You shake Scotty's hand. And he gives you that big warm smile. And he says, well, I don't want to interrupt your meeting. Just show me to where you need me and I'll be on my way. And she says, well, Mr. Scott, there's some refreshments waiting for you all just through there, and they're going to give you your assignments for where your quarters is going to be on the station. I should also tell you, and I didn't get the word out in time, there's a lot of Klingons on this station, but everything is fine. There's a truce now. Is that okay? And Scotty's looking at her like, hi. Klingons. Well, I figured we were on the other side of Klingon space. We won't be working with Klingons, will we? And she says, well, the chief engineer of this station is a Klingon. And he just goes, ah. Well, I need a drink. And he walks past the two of you, and she watches him go as he hefts up his duffel bag. A man is probably in his late 70s. Now, in Star Trek, of course, human lifespans, I think Bones lived to like
130.
Yeah, he lived like 140 years old, something like that. So Scotty, being obviously very young for his age, has no problem moving about as he always did. And he's still wearing the white collared, the black vest. I mean, this is the clothes that Scotty typically wore when he was on duty, when he was still working in Starfleet. And you watch him sort of nod to a few people and shake his hand. The people that are greeting him have no idea who the hell he is. And you watch as a bunch of crowded engineers, ranging from all different kinds of species, are cracking engineering jokes. And he's kind of just listening. And the door, shh, and as it closes, she goes, who is that guy?
That's Montgomery Scott of the Constitution ship Enterprise, the first Constitution class Enterprise, Jim Kirk's Enterprise.
Wait.
He's the chief engineer of Kirk and Spock's ship, the Enterprise. He was trapped in a transporter pattern buffer for 70 years. He was recently found by Jean-Luc Picard in the Enterprise.
The Enterprise found him?
Yes. That is...
He's on my engineering team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's a living legend. He's a relic of the greatest generation. Do you
think he's gonna know? I mean, that's incredible, but is he gonna know what he's doing? It's been a long time, 7 years, a lot of tech has changed.
He's gonna be fine. He'll be fine, trust me. I would not be surprised if within a few hours he's whipping all of those young people into shape. He knows things. He's seen things. It's Scotty. Tanya, that's...
What's he doing here? All I saw is that he volunteered. Yeah, it just says right here that he volunteered.
He must try to be acclimating right now to the present time. I mean, he's here. We can't bring him back. We can't take him back. He was one of the last souls alive to see Jim Kirk.
Yeah.
Maybe you should ask him on a date. She says it with a sort of a mischievous smile.
I'm sorry.
She said, hey, do you want to go talk to him? I'll understand if you want to go talk to him. That's kind of a once in a lifetime
No,
thing.
I'm sorry. I have responsibilities. I have to go. We have to go. I said we were going to go to this holodeck thing. I'm expected there, and
Raphael, she puts her hands on your elbows and looks at you, and she says, "Look, I know this is like the prologue to our first date, but if you want to go talk to the man, I'm not going to be upset."
How long is he here for?
I don't know. It just says I have him here listed for 3 days.
This is...
You know what? Why don't I do this? Why don't you and I go to this Hollow Suite thing, and then when assignments come around, I can make sure he's on last assignment, so in the morning or the afternoon, you can give him a tour of the station. I mean, if he's really a man from that era, he's going to have some trouble getting to know these Klingons.
He's been up close and personal with Klingons. For most of his life, he's been...
Sam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. If there's an opportunity, then I'll talk to him. It's just I'm so sorry that I was so thrown. He is literally a childhood hero of mine. It doesn't happen too often. People don't step out of the books you read as a kid.
Yeah.
And walk up to you and introduce themselves.
I get it.
Shook his hand.
I can't believe he's alive.
Yeah.
I know. I remember reading somewhere that Ambassador Spock is still out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think the medical officer was an admiral?
Leonard McCoy.
Yes. Is that him?
Admiral McCoy, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we're all done here, so if you wanna go, if you're up for it.
Yes.
I don't know how we're gonna top that. But you wanna try?
Yeah. Yes. Again, I apologize. I feel like I'm out of my own body right now. This is it's embarrassing, honestly. It's a little bit embarrassing.
I would say that means that our first date is the best one you've ever had. And so I'm okay with it. Now, come on. She takes you by the arm.
This is just the prologue. Remember you said, Tyne, this is just a prologue to our first date. Our
Prologue. She
Yes.
starts pulling you out the door.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's go. Okay.
Dr. Thurlow.
Oh my gosh, the past is prologue.
Dr. Thurlow, it's been an interesting 24 hours on Narendra Station. You were a witness to Lark approaching and the whole exchange, and then them taking Mala back to the ship, in which actually, Thurlow, you intercepted them and made sure that Mala was going to drink lots of water, and you also, I believe, gave them a stimulant so that they wouldn't be affected by a hangover the next morning, and then sent everybody on their way. And since then, you've kind of just been keeping a low profile, doing some work and whatnot.
I did have a couple.
If she's been up to something, let me know. Definitely, yeah. What would you say that Thurlow's been up to?
It's. She was happy to be distracted by looking after Mala because she now that communication has been restored with the rest of the galaxy, she has some messages from home to catch up on.
Okay.
So I am going to assume that she has sent and received notification of the death of her mentor.
Yes. So everyone is assigned quarters, temporary living quarters on the station. You are under no obligation to use them. You can still stay on board the Sally Ride. So where would Thurlow be sitting down at this console to get these messages?
I take the messages in sick bay, although I may after that just go sit in those assigned quarters just to be somewhere else.
Okay. You managed to carry the data pads with you to the assigned quarters. When you get to your assigned quarters, they're actually quite nice. Being an officer on board a starship does carry some perks from time to time, and you are given the next level up of quarters. You're not sharing quarters with anybody like some of the people from the lower decks have to sometimes. You have a nice lined window, sort of oblong window, looking out into the stars. You can see distant nebula. You can even see the rear nacelle of the USS Dauntless that's docked near the Sally Ride. You've seen Galaxy classes before. Seeing them up close, you realize those are big ships. Dwarfs the Sally Ride. It's a beautiful, beautiful ship.
Ordinarily exactly up my alley.
Yeah. You manage to sit down and find yourself a quiet moment. At this particular time, Matazi isn't walking around doing his work. No one's coming into sick bay. There's no immediate pressing, dangerous scenario that you have to prepare for. Right now, Throlo is catching herself in a rare moment of alone time with nothing to do except read. And kind of set these data pads down in front of you. The first one is messages from home. Family, all communicating concern and gratitude that communications have been opened up again. Platitudes, loves, stuff like that. Even some of the old grudges that some of your family have against some of the life choices you've made, none of those are apparent in any of the messages. Everyone just seems very pleased to be hearing from you as you're going through. You get to the end, and the last data pad does in fact have
Dr. Breeza.
Yeah, and his death certificate, essentially. Time of death. He, in fact, died in his sleep that night, shortly after he left you the message, which means his final prognosis was 100% correct. But that's not the most interesting thing you see in the data pad. As you scroll to the bottom, it's a short couple of paragraphs about his life and how he started in medicine. And as you're reading it, you're seeing a lot of similarities between you and he. But you're also seeing, you're seeing where your paths diverged, where he never left the mine, where he felt, it starts becoming apparent to you as you're going through his story that he didn't have you're not sure, I wouldn't call it the audacity, but he didn't have the ability to break free from the mine to go help where he could help. And instead, he got stuck in this loop of suffering. And he was just constantly putting a tourniquet on a wound that was never going to stop bleeding. And it broke him. Until you got his last message. But the unique thing is at the very bottom, you discover that some of his health problems started surfacing because he started having an increase in physical activity. And you see a news attachment from Andorian media. And upon opening it, you see an article pop up by Federation News Organization. Apparently he led a political movement about 2 years ago and had all the mining operations completely shut down. The mining operations were shut down, and the prisoners and the people who were forced into the mining were extracted, and they were redistributed into...
Was there a crackdown on the Orions who were...
Yes. Yeah. The Orions were taken into custody and are now currently imprisoned on a Federation starbase. Which is literally, it's a giant floating penal colony, essentially, where they just store dangerous criminals. But the mine and it ended up turning up that the shutdown of the mine led to resignations in the Andorian government. So apparently there were some people involved with the Orion Crime Syndicate and on Andoria.
We couldn't prove it, but...
Yeah. But the mine has since been destroyed. They extracted the last bit of exposed mineral using tech, and then blew up the mine and have landscaped it over. And there's been a lot of talk in the government about making the site of where the mine was something new, as a promise to the Andorian people that this would never happen again.
I
The underneath all of that is a picture of him shaking hands with a government official.
I'm torn between shock and relief and anger that he didn't tell me, and shame at feeling so disconnected, and just joy and gratitude. So, yeah.
Thorlo, I'll give you this. It gives his message to you a whole new context about the things that he said about how you kind of saved him.
So many, like, I had given up on the idea of making any change there. I ran to the other side of the galaxy. This is a lot. Throlo is... If anyone messages Throlo, Throlo does not get back to them. Throlo is taking some time.
That'll bring us up to the next morning, and we'll speed through the morning of the events. So now we should be caught up to the events that just took place in the hangar. Mm-hmm. And
does anyone else have a really emotional night?
I was going to ask you. So I'm guessing the crew is going to start assembling. In this instance, we're gonna co-pilot. We're gonna just rather autopilot. Lark and Mala are there. Both of them are being kind of quiet. But as everyone begins to assemble, a few things you notice. One, Rue is not there, and two, Martinez shows up with,
A very beautiful woman.
Yes. Martinez, in fact, shows up with a... basically shows up with Tanya. Mm-hmm. Comes walking up alongside, and she seems to be engrossed in a very spirited conversation with him. Martinez looks unusually elated. Would be a good way of saying it. Remember that look that he had on his face when you guys handed him a piece of the USS Enterprise you had found in space? It's that. You come approaching, you see your senior staff as you're walking up. Do you just...
Morning. Hi.
I guess, is it morning? I guess it'd be evening now?
Wait, where are we?
Is it evening?
Is it evening?
I thought it was midday.
Oh, it might be midday. You're right. I think it's like later in the day.
okay.
So basically, I just time jumped
Next day.
into the next day. So it should be later in the cycle of the day.
And
Great.
Where
So-
is this happening?
This is happening on the main promenade where they're unveiling the now operating.
This is the ceremony.
Yes. So
I'm caught up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we're at the ceremony now, and the holosuites are opening. I would also point out that as the holosuites are opening and the crowds are starting to filter in, there's a lot of like energetic chatter and whatnot. But you also see Lynn Zadis in civilian clothing over by the wall, and he looks like he's just finished up doing some maintenance. A few people are talking to him, and he's giving them one-word answers and packing up his stuff very quickly.
I look around at everybody and I'm like, Doctor, Lieutenant Commander, has anybody seen Commander Rue around? Do you
I'll
know
go
if
look
they're-
for them, and Lark immediately beelines away.
Okay, that was sudden. All right. I guess I'm gonna go try to look for some Starfleet personnel to let me know if I'm needed at this. What exactly they need me to do for this ceremony. So.
And Tanya looks at you and says, "Aren't you on shore leave right now?"
Yes, but I was. I think you might be right. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit scrambled.
Dr. Throlo Shishiros.
I apologize. Yes, this is my senior
Tanya
staff.
Moore.
Tanya, if you haven't, Tanya is an old friend. Her brother went to the academy at the same time that I did.
Now I pilot freighters and fix things and build things.
That
Yes.
sounds lovely.
It's fun. It's been interesting lately, that's for sure. Being out here in Shackleton is not what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, it's pretty great, right?
It's had its ups and downs, that's for sure.
Lieutenant Commander Talon, this is Tanya Moore. Tanya, this is Talon.
Hello, nice to meet you.
We also are old and dear friends going back to the academy as well.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, I think my brother I think my brother actually mentioned that Raphael had an antagonistic Vulcan friend.
That sounds like Caleb. It was Caleb Moore. I don't know if you remember Talon. Caleb Moore is Tanya's brother.
He was being funny, of course.
Of course.
Talon knows all about humor. She has been... what level are you at now in your comedy classes?
I am on class number 7 of 10.
7 of 10. Excellent. And this is...
What's 7 of 10 about?
It is
Brit-
all about
British
The base?
humor? Was that
Yes.
6 of 10?
6 of 10
Yeah.
was pantomime.
That's right. Pantomime.
7 of 10 is British humor.
How do you express with no antenna to move? How do you inflect your jokes?
It is a mixture of comedic timing, through facial expressions, and verbal expressions as well.
Fascinating.
She's hilarious, Tanya. She's really funny. She's really great.
I've been told that I am one of the funniest in the class.
I don't know why, but I don't have trouble believing that.
Yeah. It's great. And that's Chief Malaran as well, Tanya.
And if you can all just picture Gina going, hi.
Okay, great. Got it.
I can picture that.
The crowd begins to filter a little bit. Tanya makes some polite conversation. You learn from her that she's been out here since Narendra started coming online. Her brother Caleb was an engineer as well and was actually killed out here building the station. Apparently there was an accident during some of the construction. He wasn't the only one to suffer an injury or a death. When the station initially started coming online, let's just say that Narendra learned a lot about the gravitational disturbances in Shackleton Expanse that day. And Caleb was subsequently killed while in his suit out in space, helping construct the station.
Captain, I'm so sorry.
Me too. Caleb was a good man.
Yeah, honestly, it's been a while, so I've had some time to really look at the positive side of things, and that's just that he died doing what he absolutely loved. So,
Really puts things in perspective.
yeah, I mean, he as I told the captain, he was never happy in Starfleet. He always felt a little restrained, I guess. I felt like our parents were kind of pushy when it came to Starfleet. They kind of wanted to make sure that we were all my family's career. They all went into Starfleet, and then their family, and then before, and so on and so forth. You know how it goes. And Caleb and I just never really liked it, except for I was the one that got in trouble with the family, and he was the one that did what they should say. So, but then as it came down to it, he found a really clever way to sabotage his way out of what he didn't want to do.
Yeah, he did.
And Starfleet got a great captain out of it.
I'm confused.
He took a fall for me at the academy. He was expelled because I cheated on the Kobayashi Maru.
You cheated on the Kobayashi Maru?
In academic vernacular, I cheated, yes, but it wasn't a cheat. The test itself is a cheat. It's an unwinnable scenario. It's meant to train people to experience fear, and I'm sorry. I'm smiling because I did all of this because of my hero, Captain Kirk, whose friend and chief engineer Montgomery Scott we just saw moments ago.
What?
He's here on the station. He's on my engineering team.
Yes.
You're a historical captain's engineer?
Yes, whose life sign was stuck in a pattern buffer, a transporter pattern buffer for 70 years, and he was recently found a few years ago now.
I think I remember reading about
Yes.
his case file. It's
Actually,
medically
Talon,
fascinating.
you would definitely know because the discovery of a Dyson sphere
Yes.
rocked the scientific community.
Oh, I know.
The engineering and scientific community,
knows.
to this day, the existence of a Dyson sphere, it is the most remarkable technological discovery since whenever.
I would argue that Montgomery Scott being alive in the present day is much more remarkable. But yes. But
I'm going to guess he is known by the medical community for not really wanting to cooperate with a whole bunch of tests on the effect of long-term of being caught in a pot of buffer for 70 years, but that we're all sort of salivating for I
don't know. Scotty was always amenable to doctors. In fact, I think his exact words to Beverly Crusher were, "The doctors in the 24th century have gotten a lot prettier."
Sounds like something Scotty would say.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was the early '90s. It was the early '90s.
One of those backhanded sexist compliments.
You're like, yeah, I went to med school, dude.
Yeah.
And also, what about all those gorgeous women back then? Like,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's like.
But yeah.
I hadn't even considered it that way.
Yeah.
No, he was.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was
It's
just
like
making a
dissing
reference
all of
to
those women.
I
the
think
most incredible, talented, amazing, famous Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy. That's what he was.
Did Crusher put that in her notes?
I don't know. Beverly smiled at the compliment at the time, the compliment, but I'm sure it was noted, knowing
That's
Beverly.
like personal law kind of stuff.
Let's just acknowledge right now that Star Trek, being incredibly fantastic and progressive, had moments where, Kirk hit a woman in the face. That
he did.
shit happened.
Evil Kirk.
It was
But
evil
still.
Kirk, but still.
But that led to Yeoman Janice Rand probably transferring, and then her not being on the Enterprise anymore.
Man,
I mean,
they did tackle the issues.
Harassed her and she quit her. Like it. Don't go into the.
I know, we're deep diving.
Don't go into
historical documents.
Yes.
Every sci-fi
Time's
property
up,
that's
Chris.
lasted as long as Star Trek,
Yep.
including Doctor Who, has had its moments that made you go, wow, that was written in a different decade.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, small side note before we jump back into the game, the previous episode of Doctor Who, where the first Doctor interacted with Peter Capaldi's Doctor, had some of the most hilarious moments where the Doctor was calling himself out on his own sexism.
Okay, but is it supported by the? Never mind. We're
Just watch it. All right, we're getting back into Shield of
I
Tomorrow
like
now.
the part where in Star Trek in the 60s, James Kirk taught that kid with telepathic powers, Charlie X, that he can't just like slap a woman on the ass because he saw two dudes do it to each other. Like two engineers were like, "Good job." They were like wrestling or something. So then he did it to a woman on the bridge or on the ship, and Kirk had to explain to him why that was bad.
I totally forgot a telepath named Charlie X.
Yeah.
That's all I
Just-
This is how
know.
he would use his telepathy.
To be fair, they did a whole lot more good, like having women with jobs, than they did damage
Yeah.
of not always nailing the execution.
It's like incremental, like each era.
It's
got a little
amazing
better.
it's amazing that this show has gone as long as it has before we finally segued into let's talk about the sexual
Yeah.
and the
Honey, Gina, we're
gender
holding us
and
together.
Yeah,
If you want to know more about this, perhaps we could discuss it.
behind the shield. Let's jump back into the game.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry for that segue, everybody.
You did
We don't
what?
get to see each other before the game. Sometimes we just want to talk Trek. Some fascinating issues. I hope you're all being nice to each other in chat right now, including to us.
Yeah.
Is keeping it a very straight face through this story from her beloved captain about
Yeah.
I cheated, and I got a good guy expelled from the academy, changing his life path forever, and it was one of my greatest regrets, up to when I lost Lynn Zadis on active duty. I cheated. And Tanya here has been, we've had conversations, and it has been fantastic catching up with her and talking to her and getting to hear more about Caleb. So, yeah. And now Tanya's in charge of Scotty somehow.
They kind of have me doing a little bit of everything. I'm a civilian freighter captain, and I came out here to basically start a trade business. But as it turns out, the Ferengi kind of cornered the market on that. And they're not issuing any further permits right now for opening any kind of businesses out here on Narendra. So I've been lending my hand as a civilian contractor to the engineering staff, as well as some of the science.
Tanya, you're out here for a week so far, right? Is that it? Is that correct?
I've been out here for a while now. I've been out here for
How much longer are you out here for?
Well, technically, so long as the work keeps coming in.
Okay.
I plan on being here. I didn't have plans on getting back to Earth for another year or so. So, yeah, probably about another 9 months, I would say, at least.
Thank you for sharing your brother's story.
Oh, you're welcome.
Some of us run to Starfleet and some run from it. And
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it.
Speaking of-
and yet he ended up out here helping Starfleet in the end.
Yeah. speaking of running from, where did Ensign Sage go?
She left.
To look for Commander Rue, but we haven't heard from either of them yet.
And it's at about that point where being the promenade is very large and it has a lot of open space and you can see a lot of people moving, but it's hard to miss the figure of a person on crutches with a glowing blue light source.
Dryden!
Also, not moving with the usual dexterity that they have as they power through crowds on those crutches. I'm going to assume Rue's headed back to the Sally ride.
Yep.
This is what would we accurately describe this as the walk of shame,
Yeah, that's what this is.
as they say?
That's the descriptive term for the event that happens, if not necessarily
I was gonna say-
the emotional state.
Yeah, of course. So
Mountain climbers do not feel shame.
right. There is no shame. That's the
true.
next shirt idea. Mountain climbers do not feel shame. We'll
Captain
see you at
Kirk.
con, and we'll have Sam wearing that shirt.
Captain Kirk climbed a lot of mountains in his day, literally and figuratively. Commander.
I'm going to say you across. I mean, it's a good distance away. Probably about again, the main promenade is very large. So think of it like if they had emptied out. I guess this is for us nerds who have been there, but think of it if they had emptied out all of the booths at Comic-Con. And it's sort of that huge, the San Diego Convention Center. The size of it is comparable.
Whoa.
And that's Narendra Station. Like it's obvious. It's actually larger than that. But the main promenade area, the center ring, is comparable in size. Just think of it as more of a spherical as opposed to like the oblong kind of
Eric,
shape.
is it as crowded as Comic-Con right now?
Was that?
Is it as crowded as Comic-Con?
No, but it's kind of.
Cool.
It's getting there.
Okay.
It's how Sundays
night?
It's how Sundays used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Around the time before Lord of the Rings hit Comic-Con.
Yeah.
My God, we're so off Star Trek today. All right, so it's pretty crowded, but it's not. It's a station that's getting more and more full as time goes on. There are civilians here. There are Klingons, of course, staffing the place. But with the arrival of the Dauntless, this place has gotten a lot more crowded as 1,100 crew members have exited the Dauntless.
And we see Commander Rue?
Yes, because as I was describing before, this side of the promenade, you're not actually that far from the main docking transporter pad of which the Sally Ride is docked at.
Okay.
So you can clearly see across the way, and it's easy to catch the eye. You
Commander.
know what? And just to be fair about this, because the odds of you spotting someone across that, I'm going to spend a point of threat to say that you spot Commander Rue.
Thank you.
Alone?
Moving. Yes, alone. But Janelle, as you're moving back towards the transporter pad, you see hands waving at you from across the promenade.
Sir?
Oh, okay. So Rue approaches. As they're approaching, you do notice it looks like they've probably been in the holodeck, or they do so many training routines.
Yep. Yeah, so it's not
full
even
day,
all that unusual to see Bruce.
Full
right
day,
there.
full day training session, Commander?
Dr.
Yes, sir.
Thurlow, could you do me a favor?
Yes. Happily.
Could you roll control medicine, please? And I'm going to set the difficulty at 2.
Control medicine?
Yes.
Oh, we don't have any, do we?
No, we have 0.
Yeah.
Nope, 0.
You can add the threat back.
Oh, no, you know what? Let's make it insight. Insight medicine.
Yeah.
We spent it all on the
that
ships.
That makes a little more sense.
See ya.
Oh, right.
Like to remind you, these uniforms have turtlenecks.
What was the difficulty?
Much
You said
depends
two?
on your answer here.
Oh god.
Would this fit into the categories of emergency medicine, xenobiology, or triage?
Oh.
Even xenobiology is a stretch. That's kind of a stretch.
Triage.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say no on those 3.
All right, 1 success.
1 success. Okay. Janelle's been training, apparently.
Commander, are you on your way to the the holosuites or the ship or?
I wasn't sure whether my presence was required at the ceremony, sir, but I've been working on
We're on shore leave.
projects.
Working on projects, okay.
Yes, sir.
My apologies. This is Tanya Moore. Tanya, this is my
Hi.
first officer,
Pleasure.
Oh!
Commander Janelle Rue.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you.
You as well.
Well, no, we not expected anywhere. You know, we're on shore leave, so as you were.
I'm having to remind him of that.
It takes some getting used to. We've been on duty for quite a while.
Yes.
I trust he is in good hands in this respect.
Seems to be so far.
Commander, I met Montgomery Scott. He's here on the station.
Just drop that bomb.
Yeah. He's here. He's on Tanya's engineering team. And I met him earlier, and I think I may still be coming down from
I feel like
meeting
such
one
an
of your
idiot. I didn't know who he
childhood.
was.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't think a lot of people would recognize him physically immediately, but I just sort of have
Yeah.
a lot of
Well, yeah.
that era sort of seared into my brain. So.
Sure.
I'm
If-
glad the doctor was on site for you, sir.
All right. Okay.
I'm monitoring his heart rate.
I'm glad. Though at your convenience.
I was gonna. I'm startled, honestly. I thought the day you and Tolash voluntarily came in to see to your training injuries would you're just two peas in a pod.
He's come in, has he?
Not to. Should I be expecting him? Have you been training?
I am
Together?
not the commander's keeper.
Upgrade. All right. All right. Just go easy on him, okay?
Sir,
if he dies, it's bad. It would be bad if you killed him.
I will endeavor not to kill him, sir.
Okay, great. Great.
He may yet be the death of me, but I will get back on to the work with the collapsing pulsar data, sir.
Thank you. Fantastic. Excellent.
I guess I'd better see if I have an injury waiting for me. You two.
The crowds begin to filter into the holosuites. Unless there's anything else, essentially the holosuites, there's 4 of them that are now operating. There's a total of 6 on the station, which is quite a lot for a station. A lot of these were training. It looks like they were used. Looks like most of these are used for training or like emergency scenarios and are not designed for recreational use, but they're being opened temporarily now to create essentially a bar area that's been temporarily programmed in these holosuites. The rest of them, however, are for recreational use. So people are filtering into a lot of these holosuites, and you're seeing like fabulous vistas of like the Klingon Opera House, which is dark with red lighting everywhere and statues of the old emperors and chancellors, and it's got some of the great names of Klingon opera lining the walls as well, and ancient batleths, and this place exudes the passion and quiet beauty of a very loud and pronounced culture. Stepping into the Klingon Opera House, you're bombarded by smells and sounds and distant laughter, and the smell of blood wine is very apparent in the air. Klingons walking in seem to be very pleased with the way it's been recreated, but again, stepping into this opera house recreation is a reminder that this culture is rich and dynamic and ancient. And the next one, of course, is the old Paris Opera House. And you kind of get a feel of home. You kind of see the traditional like tapestries and silks, and not as many statues here, but the detail work of this old Paris Opera House. It's sort of a recreation of a few designs across the eras of human history. And so it goes as you continue to move into like different eras and different places. You guys do step into, eventually as you're being led through, holding drinks and sort of commemorating with each other, you do actually find a small holographic, I would say it's more of a projection, like a 3D representation of Strethia, that's being provided as one of the new worlds that have been discovered out here. And the detail is based off of Sally Ride's findings during their stay. So for a brief moment, you all see that vast ocean with peaks of coral peeking up out of the water, with white caps crashing over them, and distant ancient marine animals cresting the waves as
Wonderful.
Tops of cities, and of course the watercraft that you're familiar with seeing, and this great civilization, the presidential palace, which rises out of one of the deepest points in the oceans, and of course Strethians as well, in all their 5/5 glory, and just highly intelligent, very kind face. And it was describing like their clothes and how they've managed to meld biology and technology and all of the things that you guys have uncovered. Thorlo, watching this is kind of like reminiscing, but there's also kind of remembering what it sounds like when metal is creaking underneath the weight of tons upon tons per square inch of seawater while the whole place is coming down around your ears. But for the most part, the night is quite pleasant and genial. If not a little achy from activity, but
Ruth
Yes.
looks around real quick just because it's a big event and they do threat assessment.
okay.
Sorry, they do.
I would say that's a control security check.
All right.
Smart.
Or no, that actually seems more like an insight security check, I think.
does?
Yeah, so go ahead and do insight security.
All right.
Difficulty here would be a big crowd. I'll set it at 2.
Because that's mathematically the maximum I can do right now. And I too am SOL. Isn't it lovely to have momentum?
It's about time you guys started failing rolls.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm having
Well,
fun with my total failure to detect.
Doctor,
I'm
do you
like-
want to check the sodium in our GM? No, yeah.
About time.
Sodium levels high. Yeah.
I'm just gonna sprinkle that salt all over these NPC sheets I've got in front of me. No, you do not notice the 22 Romulan Tal Shiar assassins that are currently standing next to you in full uniform.
Whatever. I shook Scotty's hand.
Oh.
Bring it. I'm fine. Wipe us out. It's fine.
You're like, it's fine. And shook his hand. The night.
Was that a joke? That was a joke.
No, seriously. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was a joke. I shouldn't have committed to that one. Yeah, no, it was a joke. So you, the night does pass.
Ensign Sage? She just disappeared. She went to go look
She
for
does
you.
not return, and Mala's just like, I'm gonna go have a holographic drink, and Mala too moves off.
Okay.
Are we concerned about the ensign, Captain?
Possibly. I know that we just went through a bit of a harrowing experience ourselves, and we're getting back, and I know that she was reconnecting with Linzatis as well, so I'm just going to put that out there. If it's something that you wanted to look into, to just kind of check in with her, I don't know if you have had a chance to check in with her. I don't know if that's something that you've been wanting to do, but in any case, whatever, it's out there, so.
I'll be sure to do that,
Okay.
sir.
All right.
Commander,
And
if I
about-
can make a request.
Yep.
So you've been training with Tolash, right?
Yes.
I'm worried he's not gonna look after himself. You'll keep an eye on him, maybe?
For you, yes, Doctor.
That's a good observation, Doctor. If there's anybody that very proud and very strong and handsome Klingon would listen to, it might be you, Commander, so that in case there is anything that might be a little bit serious, maybe you could suggest that he would go see the good doc, so that you could get back to training, of course.
Talon, could you also make an insight security check?
I can, and I will.
Difficulty here will, for you, it's actually going to be 1.
Oh, and what am I rolling? Insight security? you
Insight
said?
security.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boopity boop.
I'm actually really happy I failed that check.
Yeah, it's fun what the dice will give you
One
sometimes.
success.
One success. Okay. Talon, this conversation continues happening as you're looking around, and it stands out to you as your eyes cross through the crowd. Your eyes fall upon an unusual sight. There is a Bajoran Vedic standing possibly 20 or 30 feet from you, in the middle of this crowd. You've never seen this face before. older man. His face looks ancient. Creases and lines, white hair. Not wearing the ceremonial hat, but definitely wearing the dark brown robes. Yes, he does have the ring. He does have the Bajoran religious rings kind of dangling off the side of his ear. And he's looking right at you. And the moment you spot him, you don't... The two of you make eye contact for long enough to realize that he's been watching you. But there's two things that you would notice upon spotting him. Is one, no one else seems to know he's there, judging by the way the crowd is moving around him. And two, he doesn't seem malicious or threatening in any way. He's just kind of watching you. You're not getting a creep vibe from him, but even though he is staring at you, there's this sense of odd familiarity. And as if to underline that what you're seeing is a little unusual, that sort of Jason Bourne thing happens where someone passes in front of you and they're not there anymore. He's gone. And it's about that point you hear in the conversation, "For you, yes, doctor," coming from Janelle. And they finish up their conversations as you kind of lose sight of where he went.
You alright, Commander John?
Yes, I am. I am fine.
Very well.
Which of the settings have you liked the most so far?
I enjoyed seeing the Klingon Opera House. The architecture is very exact. And the lake on Kepler 7 is very serene. I may take a walk around that lake to do my walking meditation.
Gain a momentum. I'm going to throw a momentum at you. I like it when players create things like that. Throw narrative. Yeah. So everybody gain the momentum from that.
That sounds lovely.
If you will excuse me. I just walk in towards the crowd to see if I can pick up the sight of him again.
You moving through the crowd. Talon, moves off.
Did she seem a little...
Abrupt?
Yeah, like a little more Talon than usual?
I mean, seems fairly Talon, but we seem to be shedding crew members.
Yes.
Smell fine, Commander, don't worry.
Talon, as you're moving through the crowd, you do catch sight of him again. Now he's moving towards the exit of the holosuite, and he's glancing over his shoulder, clearly checking to see if you're following him. And he waits for a moment until you have a clear path. And then as you begin... are you moving? You're following after? Okay, so he waits for a moment for you to catch up, and then he begins to move again.
Okay.
And again, either people are just not interested and the only Bajoran holy person walking the promenade, or they don't see him. But everyone just kind of... No one's bumping into him. It's kind of an unusual sight to see the way he's navigating through the crowd. But you move, leaving the holosuite area onto the main promenade. It's a lot of open space out here. And as you leave the promenade, he is impossibly far in front of you now. There's no way he could have cleared that distance at a walking pace or even a running pace, but he has appeared on the other side of the promenade, and he is with his arms folded looking out one of the windows that faces the USS Sally Ride near the dock, the transporter area.
I walk up to him.
Okay, so as this is happening, you guys are going to continue, because we're about to have a scene. So, what do you? I just want to know where everyone else. You guys are just going to
just continuing to take this holo tour, like for however
date night
long?
is going very well. Let me just tell you that
Okay.
Tanya is.
Well, sure, of course she's having a good time.
Tanya's having a good time.
Yeah, duh.
But she's mostly one of the things that you guys kind of.
You started your date by trying to cancel your date. So let's
Yeah, this is not a given.
level. Yeah.
One of the things you noticed about Tanya is she one of the things that you're probably noticing about watching Tanya interact with Raphael is that she is remarkably comfortable with him and is kind of cracking jokes like they've known each other for years. And seems to be pretty much, I would say that everyone gets the impression, yeah, you want to? Go ahead. I would say, I would say inside
She's
security.
Not a changeling.
I would say inside security.
You think that's what I'm asking?
Maybe she is.
All right,
difficult-
sure. Yeah, I'll take it for cautious and see if I can't bump us up a little bit. Since I
Okay. Difficulty is 2.
And I'm very glad that I took the cautious.
Ooh, yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right, that's 2.
Okay.
Yeah, no, whatever.
Difficulty 2. So what would you like to know?
So much, Eric.
Well, you're gonna have to spend.
Is she? I guess the fundamental question is she on the level with all of this?
The impression you're getting from her is that the energy you're getting from her is that she probably didn't expect to be asked out on a date, and she's very happy right now. She probably was not anticipating. It's sort of that giddy excitement where something really good drops in your lap suddenly. You're like, oh, okay. That's the initial energy you're getting off of her.
Okay.
And I would say that she, just from the technical acumen that she talks about, she's able to keep up in conversation. So you're getting the impression that she's a seasoned captain of a freighter.
Sure. Good to know.
Would you like to know anything else?
We don't have any more momentum.
You want to know more?
I spent it.
Okay, cool.
At what point has
Oh,
it
yeah,
become
that's right.
apparent to me that I am crashing a date right now?
It's fine. Everybody.
I mean,
everybody
It
knows.
actually, it's kind of difficult to tell because, again, Tanya doesn't seem to be trying to pull Raphael away from everybody. She seems to be enjoying meeting the senior staff. You get the impression from her that she's not threatened at all and is kind of just enjoying the company and keeping up with the conversation. She's doing a very good job of asking a lot of questions about the Enterprise and Scotty.
I do hate to continue the trend of disappearing staff, but I do have that intelligence to gather on the pulsar, and
Yes.
I'll see you at your leisure, Doctor.
I'll see you in sickbay.
Thank you,
I'm
Commander.
going to duck off.
Okay.
And
gonna
once I'm
try-
a little away from people, Rutatolash, have you found my third pip?
You hear your
Sorry.
communicator chirp and says, "I'm holding it right here, Commander."
Oh shit, that was an invitation. All right. Okay.
What to do? What to do?
Computer locate Commander Tolash.
Commander Tolash is in engineering. Shall we meet in the turbo lift, Commander?
That's where they met last time.
What deck is your quarters on the station?
You hear a low chuckle.
You said those turbo lifts were too small.
Good for close combat training, but we could do better.
I'll see you.
Okay.
My final comment after Rue says that, and I'm like, you're gonna go to Sigma. I was like, it's like a whole different side of Commander Rue.
Yeah. Must be something in the air.
Detail.
Well,
Wow. I'm impressed.
I think it's only fair to throw a momentum at you for that one.
Yeah, I feel like that's, yeah.
That's
legitimately means a ton to me. Thank you. You're so good.
You approach this Vedic, and he turns and looks at you and smiles, and waits for you to come stand next to him. Talon, the first thing you notice as you come to stand next to him, you see the Sally Ride. You see your reflection. You do not see his in the window.
Are you some type of apparition? Only in my brain.
Yes,
Why are you here?
you are here.
Then why are you in my thoughts?
Because you are finally close enough.
Close enough to what?
He points out into the stars. You You saw the orb. The orb saw you. Both of you.
Myself and Lark Sage.
Yes. Though Lark is not the name the orb knows her by. Her true Bajoran name.
What is that?
You'll have to ask her.
What is my name?
That's what I need you to find out, Talon. And he reaches out and puts his hands gently on your shoulders and says, "It's been a long time waiting for you. You and Ensign Sage."
Waiting for us.
Yes.
We were meant to come here.
The prophets do not live in linear space-time. From where I stand, you've already been here. This is just happening now, for you.
I do not recognize your form. If you are from my thoughts, my brain, then I should know who you are.
I am not from your memories. At least, not your memories now. But in the future, you will know me. Lark has seen me. She will know me. The Bajoran Orb of Journeys has been lost for millennia, and at last it has found its anchor. You were meant to come out here, you and your friends. And suddenly he looks off towards the stars again and says, I have to go. But I'm going to give you a little hint to set you on your way. You will know how to find the orb, you and Lark. And your captain will be the one to help you find it. And know this, Talon. He leans in close, he says, the pull is not being caused by the orb. Do not be fooled. It is a piece of the puzzle.
What is it? What is the source?
But if I told you, then you wouldn't have to go on the journey. And that is the most important part of all of this.
Why me? I am Vulcan.
You are also of Bajor.
I do not know anything besides what I have read.
Well. And he reaches up like a grandfather and gently pats the side of your cheek and he says, consider this the first day of school. And then you watch him turn slowly, keeping eye contact with you. And he faces the window and walks through the glass. And it's a strange sight to see a figure walking out into the stars. And he kind of just fades into the black as he steps through.
This is highly illogical. I look out towards where he was pointing, towards the stars, and try to see something.
There's a sense of the immensity. I mean, your Vulcan brain begins to calculate the probability of finding anything in space. The Shackleton Expanse alone is almost a quarter of the size of the entire quadrant. It's a large piece of the entire galaxy. Hundreds of billions of worlds out there. It would take an unquantifiable number of lifetimes to visit a third of them. The Federation might be a memory in the time span of the universe by the time you were able to locate something if you went planet to planet. Gazing out into the stars, it's just the vastness of it all. It should feel hopeless, and it doesn't.
Are we able to use the computer here on the station?
Yep.
Computer, locate Ensign Sage.
Ensign Sage is on board the USS Sally Ride.
I head there.
Okay. And you move off towards the transporter pad. So we're going to say it's getting kind of late. Tanya is headed back to her quarters. She's about to... You two are coming out of the suites, the holo suites.
They just
And
recreated Disneyland circa 1955, which was...
you can put in that request. A lot of these holo suites are booked.
Yeah.
Of course, you also have that bonus of having a holo suite on board your...
Yeah.
Captain, please explain this one to me.
This was a distraction before they built one on the moon. So this is a place that people would travel to for tourism, and this was an upgrade that one of the early sort of entertainment industry magnates known as Walt Disney designed this park because he was bored at a regular park in the city of Los Angeles. So this is the beginning of that.
I remember reading about this,
Yeah.
Tanya says.
I've
Yeah.
seen pointy dwellings like that. Were those typical of your planet in that
Oh,
time?
no.
Now, one thing that humans do and still do and have done on Earth is recreate famous things and just put them in weird random places. Have you ever heard of Las Vegas, Doctor?
Is
fun.
Vegas still a thing? Because I did go to school in San Francisco.
Vegas is still a thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Oh,
look,
it's
it doesn't
still a
look
thing.
quite like it does today, but it is still a thing.
Remember Las Vegas, Doctor? It's a similar. There's
Vegas has
smaller
kind of become a mini Risa.
landmarks. Yeah.
But it's not the decadent,
They try to call it like the Pleasure City, but it doesn't quite.
yeah.
It's still Sin City.
I've seen that logo. It is there is a movie from that time. You recommended. I liked very much. It was Frozen.
Yes, I thought you were going to say The Hangover, which was another film of that time, but you're discussing a castle, and I'm still talking about Las Vegas. Yes, castle. Yeah.
Caleb used to tell me how you two used to connect over 80s movies all the time from the early 20th century or late 20th century, wasn't it?
That was
Late
a very
20th century?
specific era, but you see, the funny thing is because Jim Kirk and Admiral Spock and Captain Scott, they traveled to the 1980s, so there was a little moment in time where Caleb and I became a little bit obsessed with
chances
that.
of the universe.
Yeah.
He made me watch some of those movies.
Well, I don't know who is more the dumbass, him or you, for having to sit through that. I'm sorry.
No, as it turns out, I found... What was the name of it? Flight of the Navigator
Yeah, that's a fun
was one that I really thought was charming.
Yes.
And
that
the
was
way they
fun.
used a lot of puppet effects was really charming.
Yeah,
it was quite a charming movie.
See, old humans' ideas of what space travel would be. It's really charming. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Can I walk you back to your quarters?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. All right.
Thorlo's like, oh, right, it's a date. Right. It's kind of like, so Thorlo, remember that question you were asking me before?
This is
now,
the point which I
now it's
realized
going to
that
happen.
was a yes. Oh.
Yeah.
See you on the ship, Doctor. We'll see you on the
Oh,
ship.
yep.
Have a good night.
Lovely meeting you.
Very nice to meet you.
She seems wonderful.
She's great. She's she really is like a grounding presence on the ship.
I hope this doesn't sound wrong, but a lot of my encounters with Andorians, they're usually pretty spicy.
Really?
Yeah, Andorians typically, like Tellarites, they kind of typically are very, very passionate people.
Yeah. should meet one of our chief engineers on the ship. He's, if you haven't already, he is quite a character. Tellarite.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, a Tellarite chief engineer?
Mm-hmm. Not quite what you'd expect, but still pretty close. So.
I've got it in my head, and
Yeah.
Interesting. The two of you continue walking back to your quarters. It's a nice, 10-minute walk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry.
Is this Tanya or is this Eric? What's going on?
This is Eric.
Okay, great.
I just had a stupid thought that I can't.
Yes. Always do the bad idea.
I'm sorry. I was like, you get in the turbo lift and it smells like sex. And it doesn't. There are many turbo lifts on the station.
Oh God! I hope the air filtration.
I was gonna say the environmental controls.
Now I'm curious about
I killed Sam.
What are your self-cleaning routines on a turbo lift?
Well, we know in Starfleet there were guys with vacuums in the background sometimes. I don't know if that's still the case, if there's Roombas or whatnot, but...
Sorry. I've been drinking coffee this whole game. It's
asked-
finally kicking in.
I asked.
Okay, so
share.
smells of sex, all right, we're humans, there's a frame of reference that a lot of humans have for that. But what I'm curious about is smells of Klingon, Trill. That's what I'm like, what is that? What is that?
I don't know. So next episode of Behind the Shield, we'll talk about this.
Right. So it would just be a
And we
Klingon.
established, musk.
Yeah,
Musk
that's what it would be.
Musk.
Ooh.
The scent for Klingons.
Klingon would be thick.
I invited this. I should have just kept it to myself.
Totally.
So Matt does such a brilliant job not saying everything that comes to his mind during Critical Role. I am terrible at it. ADD, folks. Sometimes you just gotta overshare.
Tanya, I want to tell you something.
She pauses just as y'all are walking up to the doors of her quarters, and she says, "I would love to hear what you have to say."
I was trying to say some of this earlier, and I'll be honest, I got a little bit distracted by
When Scotty walked off,
yeah.
I saw you were in the middle of something serious.
what I was trying to say, what I was attempting to describe was how I'm feeling recently. And
Okay.
I feel good when I see you and we talk and I spend time with you. And this feels strange to say because it feels as if my entire life has led up to me becoming the captain of a starship. And after it became something that could potentially happen in my life, it was something that it always feels like it is supposed to be the greatest honor. And it is. There's so many amazing things that have happened in my life. And yet, seeing you, talking about Caleb, the thing that I've gone through recently, I've begun to question what I'm doing and what Starfleet is doing right now. And it seems like maybe I'm a broken record.
What do you mean?
Because I keep coming back to this, but I frequently read Captain Kirk's autobiography. I'm reading it, I'm studying it, I've studied this man's life, and a thing that I have recently realized is that he regretted not having a family.
Oh.
He never did. He was married to his ship. He was Captain Kirk. He was, in so many ways, what people then and still today put on him. He was this legend. He was this mythic figure when he was really just a man. And he made mistakes. What I'm trying to say, what I'm getting at is that, when you model your life after a person or an idea of a person for so long, you might lose yourself in that idea. And maybe I don't know who I am right now. And I have been thinking about what my life is going to be 9 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I don't know. I don't know if Starfleet is always going to be there.
So, and I don't mean this in an accusatory way, because I acknowledge that you're being very vulnerable right now, Captain Martinez. But it sounds to me like this is you kind of coming up for air for a moment to find out if maybe this is something you want to do.
It is.
Can I ask you something?
At all.
Do you really think you have to have only one? I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is it... I mean, there have been Starfleet captains that have had spouses.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're not proposing to me. Fuck, it's the first date, but I'm just saying that I understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something I had to look at when I became a freighter captain. It's nothing like being a Starfleet captain, obviously, but
Sure.
being away from home.
Yeah. The life, the grind, the hustle. It's the loneliness, the responsibility, the...
And I'm not going to be in Shackleton forever, and neither are you. And
Right.
I mean, we just had a war.
Despite all of this, Tanya, the second I allow myself to come up for air, I'm confronted with friend of Kirk, Scotty, in the flesh. He's here. And I may talk to him tomorrow if I take you up on that offer. I may be able to pick his brain, or it just seems so, I don't know.
Incredibly timed.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. You spent the night hanging out with me. And maybe you did get a glimpse of your future. I don't know. Take tomorrow to talk to Scotty. See if that gives you a glimpse of your future.
Thank you.
And she kind of gives you a very warm smile, and without another word, she squeezes your arm and walks into her quarters and turns and looks at you and smiles again very invitingly and
All right, I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna head back down the hall.
Okay.
Walk away.
She definitely has left you feeling like, talk to me when you've talked to Scotty kind of feel.
Yeah, I got that.
But it wasn't a rejection. I probably made that. And I would say the way she lingered on you, you definitely got that sensation. So we're gonna do a quick cut to
Break.
Yeah, we're gonna do a quick cut to the doors of Tolosh's quarters opening, and Tolosh standing there, and he's sliding his knife into his belt, and he goes, "I have a lead," and he hands you the pip.
Graphic.
Shall we?
Let's.
And the two of you leave his quarters. And that's where we're going to take our break. So we will be back in 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Remember, I'm going to be announcing the winners of the giveaway at the end of the episode. And I will keep you guys posted on that. And we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody, to Shield of Tomorrow. We're back from our break. It's been a pretty interesting episode so far. So let's just go ahead and jump right back on in to where we left off.
Okay.
Rue showing up to Tolosh's quarters. You were expecting another round of happy fun time. Instead, he answered the door with a weapon that he was sliding into his belt and informing you that he actually had a lead.
But not you say this isn't happy fun time.
That's true. I guess this is version B of Happy Fun Time.
Version A, really.
Yeah. I don't rank them.
So as Tolosh moves towards the turbolift, he calls for it and he turns and looks at you and says, "You're not going to be surprised when I tell you what my informant has told me. We're going to visit a Ferengi."
Oh.
After you.
There is an energy between the two of you as you're going up the turbolift towards the promenade. He kind of just glances down at you for a minute and says, "You are a good climber, Commander."
You're pretty athletic yourself.
The door opens.
I boop him in the leg with my crutch on his way out.
There's a little smirk under his mustache as you move past him. Stepping out onto the promenade, the place is mostly emptied as the next shift is starting up. Lights have been lowered in the station. Moving into the sparse crowd, you see a few Starfleet personnel, a few Klingon personnel, lots of civilians still milling about, but you see Brug's shop starting to close down. Lights turning off, and Tolash keeps pace with you as the two of you beeline for it. After a few moments, you cross the threshold into the shop, and as I've described, Brug's shop is kind of like think of it as like a very large storage unit that's been converted into a retail store. It's lined with shelves of all kinds of bizarre knickknacks that have been recovered from the Shackleton Expanse, along with some pretty interesting items that can only be found deep within the Alpha Quadrant and aren't making it past the Klingon Empire on a regular basis. Certain like holosuite programs and certain like replicator programs, and also alcohols of different types and whatnot. As you both enter the shop, he looks up and says, "Sorry, I'm closing. No time for more customers. But check back with me tomorrow."
Convenient. We're not customers.
Well, I don't give autographs. What do you want?
Look to Tolash.
He looks up at Tolash. Tolash leans forward and says, "Tell me, Ferengi, what do you know about certain illicit dealings on the station and certain intelligence leaks, and what do you know in general? Let's start there." And the Ferengi goes, "Oh, yes, okay. Right, well, yes, I can definitely talk to both of you about this. Would you mind if I close the door?"
Please.
Excellent. Presses a button on the side wall, and you see the door to the shop closes, and as it goes, and it closes, he goes, "Just a moment." And he moves over. Tolash gently puts his hand on his diktak as the Ferengi moves past you, and he approaches the side, glances out the small window ports in the door, almost like he's making sure no one was looking.
Oh, yeah.
And he turns around and goes, "Are you Starfleet?"
I'm on shore leave.
Okay. Shore leave. Yes, vacation. Yes. Sorry, what is it you want again? You're here to buy information? Because I do sell.
Yes, we're interested in power structures here on this station. People in power sharing information, exchanging power.
You see, he looks a little agitated. He kind of glances back and forth. Sorry, usually a Klingon representative will come here, or a Federation representative come here. Usually not two. So, what's the situation we're in right now? Exactly. Who am I selling information to, and who kills me for giving the information to the other person? That's basically what I want to know.
You're Ferengi. Admire the 2-for-1 deal.
Oh, is it like that? Alright.
I suppose what makes us unique is we could both kill you for not giving us the information.
I'd considered that, yes. Yes, indeed. I do not mean this in any way, he leans back, as a threat. It's not a threat. It's not a threat. And Tolash looks at you, and the Ferengi says, "But I did close the door because I know very well I could kill both of you if you tried anything." Not a threat. It's not a threat.
Oh.
I need privacy if we're going to exchange information, but I run a very dangerous business.
I understand taking precautions. I'm sure you couldn't kill us before we kill you, but I'm sure you'd manage it.
Tolash says, I would drag the upper half of my severed body to that side of the store, and I would tear your innards out with my bare hands before I died, and they would sing my praises in Stovall Core. And the Ferengi says,
He has a bit of a poetry to him, doesn't he?
all right, so you're doing very well in the threatening me. I get it.
Great. Kargan.
The General? You're standing next to a Klingon right now. You know that, right? And
He's hard to miss.
Tolash folds his arms and says, tell us what you know of the General. You're not working for Hebert, are you? I've given her all the information I am willing to give for the prices she's paying me. You could ask her for another tax cut on the station lease. That would be nice. I trust you found your, assets?
I have. No, we're not working for Hebert right now. I'm on shore leave, you'll recall.
Is this some kind of blood feud? And Tolash immediately says, yes.
Yeah.
And at that, the Ferengi goes, okay, didn't know. Yes, well, discount price then. Yes, I will do it for one strip of latinum. Just one. Normally it's much more than that. Much, much more. One strip. I'm not the type of Ferengi that negotiates with Klingons. I fully understand that you are shut up. And he just kind of, it's a fair point as well. Tolash moves over and he pulls out one slip of gold-pressed latinum and sets it down. And the Ferengi says, all right, I'll tell you what I know. If it means you'll leave me alive and get out of the shop and don't tell anyone you spoke to me, or else my job here is done. I'd like to point out that I helped keep the peace when there was still a war on between the two of you. And he points at both Klingon and Trill.
I'm sure you received the thanks of our respective people's information.
So you want to know everything about Kargan? He's an idiot. He doesn't know what's going on his own station. He doesn't keep tabs on his own people. There's illicit cargo coming and going all the time. And
that wouldn't even be worth a slip of latinum.
Well, you don't know what's in the cargo, do you?
Enlighten me.
To be honest, I don't know what's in the cargo either. But I know that I do know that a piece of cargo came in recently that's attracted some interest, to say the least.
On what ship?
It's a new ship, a freighter. Let's see, I have it down here somewhere. I kind of fumbles with some data pads and says, let's see. What is it? Yes. The Rikarn. Iridian pilots it. It's one of their civilian vessels. And claims he has something worth of interest. I don't know exactly. I don't know if it's Kargan he's talking to. Actually, lately, I'm not 100% sure Kargan has any idea of what's going on this station.
Who do you see moving the pieces around? Who's running
There's a
from?
Klingon named Chukai. He's a quartermaster here on the station. And I guess Kargan trusts him, I'm not sure, but he's doing things that would leave a lot of Ferengi envious. Other Ferengi, not me. I detest what he's doing to interstellar law. Just flouts it right in front of everybody. Well, people who are paying attention to the black market anyway.
Is that all you have?
Of late. Is there something specific you're after? Are you trying to burn Kargan? Fortunately, I'm telling you the truth. Kargan seems quite oblivious as to what happens under Indra. He spends most of his time complaining about the Admiral and complaining about Gowron and complaining about not being at war. When he's not drinking his blood wine, he's talking about how he could just get in a bird of prey and go to the front line and damn his orders and blah, blah, blah.
I look to Tolash to double check if there's anything he wants.
Tolash looks a little put off. And he says, "What do you know of Kargan's ties to House Duros?" And the Ferengi goes, "Duros? I'm not aware that he has any. Like I said, Kargan doesn't do anything on the station. He doesn't have his fingers in any pies, as they say on Earth. It's a human expression. Pie, it's a food. They eat it."
Then why would you put...
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone with Romulan goods come through recently?
Romulan goods. Well, I haven't seen any Romulan goods, but this Chukai, quartermaster, I've heard him say a few things about the Tal Shiar, not in conversation, well, really, actually in conversation, but in passing. I couldn't make out everything he was saying. You'd be surprised what a Ferengi can hear from over 75 meters away.
Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't. You seem to have good lobes.
Well, you should have led with that.
I think I led just fine.
I suppose. And he thumps the gold-pressed latinum in his pocket and says, "The only leads I have for you for whatever it is you're trying to do is this Chukai and the Iridian that came in a day ago. I think he's looking for a buyer for some of his cargo, but there seems to be concern that it's too hot to move here."
Understood. You've been helpful. Next time someone comes in asking for some information, do me a favor and let one of us know.
How did I get a hold of you? Just, I don't know your names.
I'm Commander Jenny LaRue.
And you, should I just call you Big? And the Klingon just says, "Yes." All right, that works for me. Commander Big.
Commander Big, like Mr. Big.
He is.
Tonight's episode is rated. The Ferengi goes,
Well, I think we'll be off, and, yeah. We aren't going to talk about this. You aren't either, or,
"Oh, no. There are people that would do far worse things to me than either the Klingons or the Federation could come up with, believe me. The black market attracts the worst of the worst. Believe me, I'm not going to say a word. You have my assurances. Besides, in all honesty, you Klingons and Federation hating each other has been keeping me in business, and me keeping the peace has actually been quite profitable."
yes.
Oh, you've got a friend in Brugg.
Good. I'm sure our friendship can be very profitable.
Yes, sorry about threatening you with death. I actually didn't have anything to hurt you with, but I'm very good at bluffing.
Yes. I'm gonna take a quick insight check before I go.
Okay, go ahead and make, this is gonna be contested. So go ahead and it's gonna be difficulty 1.
All right.
I'm gonna spend 2
I'm gonna
threat.
say your insight check reveals he's actually really bad at bluffing.
I'm gonna give you 1 additional threat.
All right, I'll take one of those back.
Yep.
All right, difficulty is 1. Tell me what you get.
I see 1 there, but I don't think that
And
we do.
half.
Oh, we do have
We got
one?
one back because of story stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, right, we did. Okay, then I can buy cautious.
Oh, okay.
Lovely. Sorry about that.
Never mind. All right. All right, what'd you get?
Hang on, I'm just gonna double check because I think my insight number went up in my last. So 2 natural crits on top of the 8. So that's a total of 5.
You crushed it. I rolled very poorly for him.
Great. 5 on a difficulty 1, we get 4 back.
Whoa!
Thank you.
That's what we need.
Now
Okay.
we're in business.
And Brug's
I got excited when I saw the 4 and then got dissuaded when I saw the 2 18s. So you beat him.
Not yet. He's being good.
He's being good. So what would you like to know?
I'm interested in whether he's holding things back and the extent to which I believe he's not going to rabbit to somebody else to
Okay,
us out.
so you basically want to know if he's a talker.
Runner, doer.
He, you don't get the impression... You definitely feel like he's holding something back, but it doesn't feel like it's... He's not exuding any kind of anxiety about it. So it doesn't feel like it's... I guess the impression you get is he's not telling you the whole story. Like maybe he knows more about the Iridian, or maybe he knows more about what the cargo is, possibly. But he doesn't have like an air of anxiety, like it's like he's trying to shoo you out or hide it, or necessarily. And you definitely get the impression that as Ferengi go, this one is dangerously clever and is probably not... You get the impression from him he might be acting more of the fool than he really is. It's kind of like a poker game. You just get the impression that the player sitting across from you at the table is acting like they've never played before, but he's probably been at this for a while. He's probably a card shark.
All right. But that doesn't give me anything vis-a-vis whether or not he's going to talk.
No, he is holding something back.
All right.
He's definitely holding something back.
I'd like to spend to obtain information.
Okay.
And basically to ask as a hand on the doorknob thing.
Yeah.
Anything else I should know?
His eyes narrow at you for a second, and with that spend for obtain information, the additional read you get off of him is that you pausing and asking at the door is telling him that you know that he wasn't giving you everything. And so you see his eyes narrow for a second, and then he grins a little bit and he just says, "The Iridian trader, he frequents the station, and it's been said that he deals in weapons of some kind. I don't know what the cargo is, but like I said, whatever it is, it's very hot this time, and it doesn't look like he wants to move it here on the station. In other words, Janil Rue, you might want to try to catch him before he runs, if you want to find out what he has, if he's trying to run. Worst case scenario is he found a buyer on the station."
Much obliged.
You're welcome.
Commander?
Goodbye. He just waves at the Klingon, and the Klingon just... As the two of you leave and the door closes again behind you, he's moving forward and says, "We should look up to see where this Iridian docked."
We should. We have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. I assume he is going to sell us out as quickly as possible. So...
The Ferengi?
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised. It sounds like he's benefited significantly from dealings with your admiral. If I was a typical Klingon, I'd be very upset. And he smirks.
It's helpful to us right now. Severed upper body, huh?
I'm actually quite terrible at poetry. I just go with the first thing that comes to my mind.
I like your instincts.
And my upper body, from what I remember.
I goose him again with my crotch.
Okay. So, you two proceed to the turbo lift. Now, the night is passing at this point, so everyone's retiring. You're retiring to the ship. You are also retiring to the ship. Is that correct, Will? Okay, so, and you have returned to the ship as well. Okay, so we're in, like, Sherlock and Watson mode right now as Rue is fulfilling your orders, Captain. The two of you get inside the turbo lift, and he brings up a data pad, and you see a schematic of Narendra Station come up, and he starts entering the name of the ship. And he says, here it is. Uridian Smuggler. Interesting. The Rakarn. His name is Gritos.
Gritos.
He's in the lower levels, I'm not surprised. Let's go find out what he's moving. Do you want to alert station security? Is there anybody on your ship you want there with us? I only trust members of the Sally Ride at this point. If I moved any of my Klingon assets, then it would start suspicion with Kargan.
Understood. It's wise.
Not that I mind charging into this situation, but on the other hand, your companions have proven to be foolish enough to charge in with us.
They're lovely like that. I'll check in with them. Commander Rue to Captain Martinez.
I'm like playing with a piece of the Enterprise. Put it down. Martinez here. Go ahead, Commander.
I'm here with Commander Tolosh. We're investigating further pulsar data. We were about to check in on a Uridian freighter that might have some stellar intelligence. We're wondering if I ought to bring anyone else from our ship, or just go ahead, me and the commander.
Well, sometimes, Commander, you don't need that many people to gather intelligence, but sometimes it's helpful to have a nice audience present, so I'm going to leave this one completely up to your discretion, Commander. If you feel like you need to recruit some members to your team, then you have that. Otherwise, I trust your instincts.
Either of you want in?
Yeah, we can totally take this out of character. Players, you guys want in on this?
Sure.
I'll be a terrible spy, but I'm in.
That makes it even better.
Hector, does Raphael?
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're all in. Yeah.
Okay.
I think some of our senior staff could be helpful.
All right. I'll gather who I can and meet you where?
Gather your party.
Kargan leans in and he says, Cargo Bay 12.
Okay, great.
Who leans in?
Oh, sorry, not Kargan. Tolosh.
Oh, are they the same person?
Oh my god!
Oh, if you were going right into my personal space,
He immediately shapeshifts back into Tolosh. Sorry. Sorry.
Stay that
Forgot
way.
which persona I was in there for a second.
Stay that way.
It's very difficult being a changeling, I'm just saying.
Cargo Bay 5, was it, Tolosh? What was it? Cargo Bay
Tolosh
what?
is Cargo Bay 12.
Cargo Bay 12. All right, we'll be right there. Commander, we'll meet you there.
Rue out, and as he's still leaned down to try to talk into my combat, I'm just gonna grab him and get a kiss from him.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm
right.
still getting that. I know.
You're getting like the mic ruffle.
With the way that everything's been going, I feel like Ensign Sage and Chief Wren, they're just kind of
Not in it.
They're going through whatever they're going through. Yeah. So I'm gonna reach out to. I'm gonna be right here at my desk, and I'll say, Captain Martinez to Dr. Shishiros.
Dr. Shishiros here.
Throlo, are you busy at the moment?
Nope. Everything's normal. Nothing going on.
All right. Well, meet me in the turbo lift, I guess. We're heading out to Cargo Bay 12 to meet Commander Rue to gather some intelligence.
Oh, absolutely. Should I bring my kid?
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Do that.
Okay.
Which begs the question, Martinez, real quick, as you're contacting Talana, are you going to be bringing a phaser?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Martinez out. Captain Martinez to Lieutenant Commander Talon.
Talon here.
Talon, am I interrupting any meditation or anything at this hour?
Yes, but what
Okay.
is it you need?
Apologies. If you would please accompany myself, Dr. Shishiros, and Commander Rue. We are gathering some intelligence on the base, and we're going to be meeting in the turbo lift to head down to Deck 12. No, what was it? Cargo Bay 12. Cargo Bay 12.
I'll need to re-examine the Ranger Station blueprints, but the
That
Beta
checks out.
Quadrant, the Beta Quadrant book is going to have all this great information on the Ranger Station that I didn't
Very
use,
cool.
so
Very
Very
cool.
nice.
I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Of course, Captain. And I grab my phaser.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
Okay.
Everyone knows.
Martinez out. Let's
All right,
go.
so then we will do a cut to the senior staff arriving on the deck where the cargo bay is located. You find Commander Tolash and Janelle Rue on standby. Doctor.
2 feet apart.
Yeah. Doctor, real quick, we're going to make one more insight medicine check. Difficulty on this one
You
is
want
going
cautious?
difficulty on this
want
one's going to be
some
1. Because it's less, it's becoming,
Is it more
Get
fun
it.
to succeed or fail?
let
Yes.
the dice
The
tell
answer
you.
is yes. But if you take caution, it could get us momentum for.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's difficulty 1, so I have a good shot here.
Right. Yeah.
Insight
do
medicine.
the thing.
Yep, insight medicine.
All right. That's 3.
It's more fun when player characters know.
Woof. Okay. Well, 2.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
What do I
Don't
see?
you get a reroll? Cautious.
I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume once again that I don't get a focus on this, unless there's an infectious
No.
disease I should know about.
No.
It's called love.
No.
I mean, I'm just saying it's in the list.
Yep. Nope,
You
you're
will
good.
never be surprised by it.
Remember that disease that made everybody on Enterprise crazy and Sulu took his shirt off and it was the naked time? Is that what's happening right now on the station?
No, it is a very close time.
Okay.
So that's actually 3 successes.
Okay, so so you succeed, and Doctor, as y'all are stepping off, no one else seems to really notice it, but they're the unmistakable bite marks of Klingon teeth on the base of Janelle Rue's neck.
Oh, dang.
And everything you know about xenobiology, the location of the bite marks, as well as the way they're behaving as you all walk in, which is, by the way, completely normal. 2 + 2 = 4.
4.
And so you all walk in, and Tolash says, "We managed to have a bit of a breakthrough in our intelligence gathering.
Good. What have you got?
There's a Uridian trader, more like smuggler. He's located here in the cargo bay. Apparently he has what our Ferengi friend described as hot merchandise that he might be trying to move here on the station, but he also hinted that it's particularly hot and that he might be trying to move it off the station. And it might be linked to
The General?
Duras,
To Duras.
possibly.
Okay. All right, so we may need proof of this. What exactly is the...
Weapons, sir.
Okay. Okay. If we confront the General with this...
This just occurred to me.
What
Where is
happens?
Jiv? Is he still in? I'm guessing
He's still on the ship.
He's doing his work on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because even though we're on shore
He's
leave
overseeing
again,
upgrades, yeah.
he's doing his work on the ship, and he
cool. Working his butt off.
I haven't
Surely.
haven't invited him out to dinner yet. I'm planning to do it like the second, third night. So to give him a couple nights of just working, and then be like, Jiff, let's go. We're going out to dinner.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, Captain. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So
So if we get proof of this, though, and we present it to the Empire, Tolash, wouldn't that mean then that the General's out?
more than out, it would be my duty to kill him.
Yes. I mean,
That's
acceptable.
how
I
our
didn't-
culture works.
Yes, I know. I didn't mean to be excited about that. Okay. So then the mission then is reconnaissance?
Yes. We
Gathering
want to find out
data?
what it is he's moving, if he's moving anything. It's possible the Ferengi is leading us in a circle. We might be chasing a ghost targ, but if it's true, then we'll have what we didn't have when the Yakul blew up.
Exactly. Proof. All right.
Shall we?
Okay.
All right. You guys walk up to the cargo bay, and the doors don't open. And Tolash steps back and just looks at the doors and enters a few buttons on the keypad, and
Nothing.
the door goes. Dee-dee-dee. it's not that large of a cargo bay. The Uridian ship is docked outside the station, so it's a cargo bay with doors and whatnot where a lot of crates have been unloaded. There is a very obvious crate in the middle of the room. It is silver with what looks like a lattice work of electrical, like glowing tech wrapping around it, like it's an inner, almost like the moment you see it, it almost looks like it's some kind of containment pod of some kind, and it's pulsating with a deep blue greenish light, like it's constantly, almost like your guess at first sight is maybe it's some kind of jammer or interference device of some kind. And standing there, alone, above the container, looking dumbfounded and shocked, is a Uridian who has a data pad in his hand and is staring at all of you wide-eyed, going,
Surprise inspection.
And he looks, he doesn't have the willpower to stop, glance straight down at the thing, and he drops the data pad and begins to run towards the cargo doors, towards his ship.
Well, that was a mistake. Tolash, Commander?
So Tolash pulls his disruptor pistol, which does not have a stun setting.
Yeah. Hold on.
I would like to take advantage of a stun setting that I have, as I cough pointedly at him.
He points and... go ahead and make a roll, Commander.
Sure.
The difficulty here, I'm going to spend... He is running and zigging and zagging, trying, like, anticipating being shot at. The difficulty here is going to be just a straight 3.
All right. So 1 for cautious. I use a minor action to aim. And...
Yes.
4. This is very
That's good.
exciting.
That's good.
Yes.
Talon, we're going to need a
4?
scan on that.
Yeah, so back up.
I'm so ready to scan.
Roll damage. You hit the hell out of him.
All right. Let me double check. I believe that is
This
8
may
on me.
be a trap, so
Right. We want to make sure it's secure. I actually want to. I have a thing I want to do.
you got it.
Yes.
So do you guys remember what Uridians look like?
No.
James Cromwell played one. They're really interesting creatures. They have sort of...
He played a lot of things.
He
in
played a
Star
lot.
Trek, Eric, you're going to have to narrow it down.
Okay, so do you remember the episode where a Uridian came and
Zephyr
told
Cochrane.
Worf that his father was alive and it was on this other Klingon planet? The creature that gave him that information is a Uridian. So they have, like, their skin kind of folds in towards the center of their face, and there's like a line going down. There's creases, and they have sort of a like a Nosferatu kind of feel to them.
And...
Oh. Ew.
Look at that up.
Look at that.
Oh,
And-
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like Ferengi, they have a reputation for being illicit traders and information brokers and whatnot.
8, 9.
9? Okay. So
You said James
all-
Cromwell played him as if you could tell that it was James Cromwell.
You can totally tell.
I mean, maybe if
the
you
moment
hear his voice, but it's like...
it's his voice
It's a
is
picture of him like,
unmistakable.
oh yeah, that's definitely... You cannot tell that's James Cromwell.
After he won his Oscar, he still came back to Star Trek because he loved it so much. They
great.
thought they were never going to get him again, and they're like, no, just keep calling me,
What did he win an Oscar for? Babe?
Babe. Yeah, won an Oscar for Babe, and
my
then he became
goodness.
Zephyr Cochrane.
Wonder Interface.
So,
I didn't
so
know
a
that's
reddish yellow beam of energy lances out from the tip of that phaser and strikes the Uridian straight in the back, and he stumbles forward at full run and smashes face first into the cargo bay door, and then just rolls down the ramp and stops at the bottom with a groan, just
Doctor, would you care to check in on our patient here?
And can I want to go straight to the. I want to do 2 things. Can
Okay.
I be moving towards the data pad he dropped and also scanning the device?
They're right next to each other.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was right next to the device. Okay.
Originally, when he dropped the data pad to run.
Okay. I didn't know if he was far away from it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to scan that.
Okay. Go ahead and make a. This is going to be a reason science check.
All right.
Get ready. The difficulty is 5.
Can I take?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you also have an applicable daily that you would like to use here?
I sure do. Well.
We were down 2... Wait, how many momentum do we have right now? Because I
We
have 2 over
had
here.
4 because of my insight roll. I spent 2 during the attack. I think we got.
They spent one to what was it? What did you reroll? Damage or what was it?
Yeah, I took one for a reroll of damage. I
So,
took one
I think
for
we're down to
cautious,
2.
but I got a bunch from the attack.
Oh. So what are we
I got
at?
2 back from the attack because I rolled 8, 8, 5.
So are we at 4?
So, that I think 3. Is
We're-
3 sounds right because I don't think I took one away for the damage thing.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay.
So 3. Are we using all 3, Elisa, to get this
I
5?
feel like we're trying to find the queen.
Well, I might use one of my dailies if it works. Because we're in peacetime, and this discovery could potentially kick off a war again, I would like to use scientific study leads to peace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You are in the midst of an action that is trying to uncover a plot that
We're
could.
maintaining
yeah.
peace.
It can
Yeah.
end peace.
I'll totally buy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many do I? So I have.
All right, so
3
that's an
now.
auto crit.
Oh, this
and
is an
then
auto
whatever-
crit.
You start with 2, and then however much you want to
I'd
spend.
like to buy one more.
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right.
All right, you have cautious.
Oh wait. So that's an auto crit. So. 1, 2, 3.
So that's 5 total.
Yes!
5
So that's-
successes.
We do the thing! You do the science!
You're getting some very unusual readings.
What?
Inside this, it's hollowed out. There is something inside of there. It looks like it might be technology from the scan, and it's very hot inside. Whatever it is being kept at an incredible temperature. Not like not like. It could be like a warhead. It could be like some kind of energy source. You're not sure. It's not a dangerous level of heat. You could totally be inside of this thing and be okay. But it's very warm inside. You can also tell that a lot of interference is coming from inside the pod. So it's the reason why that was so difficult. What you're scanning is there's literally these. You've seen devices like this before. There's devices all on the inside. Smugglers love to use these when they're transporting illicit weapons. You remember seeing things like this when you guys were uncovering biogenic weapons. They're specifically designed to block Federation scanners and designed to stop any kind of readings from coming out of the device itself. The pod itself is about 6 feet long and about 4 feet wide. And looks like it essentially at the state that it's in right now, it just looks like a giant torpedo. And that's what your tricorder is telling you about what's inside this thing.
Okay, so it's a jammer. It sounds like.
It sounds like, yeah. Essentially, what you're getting is there's a jammer on the outside and the inside that's making it impossible to get the exact contents of the box, but with that scan at that success level, you're able to determine that there's a second scanner inside, which you could disarm, but it would require you actually opening the thing. It's built inside of it.
Lieutenant Commander, what do we got?
Some type of. It is equipped with 2 different signal jammers. So. It itself may be some type of warhead, but I would need to get inside it to find out what it is.
Do I think you could help?
Oh, sorry, did I... Oh, the data pad, is there anything I can find out on there?
Yeah, there's a message on it.
Aha! Okay.
It just says, "Don't move. I'll meet you there soon. I guarantee you they are interested."
Who's it from?
It doesn't have a signature or anything on it.
Okay.
Trace it.
I tell them that.
It looks like a message.
Any way we can trace that? Who sent that message? How much time do we have? Was there any timestamp on there? Time frame?
No, sir.
Okay.
Are you expecting company?
The Iridian is literally just.
You're fine. You've got a severe case of bad ideas.
He's literally just groaning.
Is he fine? I'm just.
He's gonna be fine, but Rue stunned all of his stress levels out of him. He is technically wounded, but it's not a lethal wound. But he is stunned. He is completely drained of his stress levels. He's barely conscious right now.
Oh, I stressed him out.
No, I think
You stressed him out.
you removed his stress level, so he's just like, hey,
Hey,
Right,
thank you
because
so
there's-
much,
hey,
man.
I feel great.
So much better than Burning Man.
Make sure he's stable and and just look up and be like, you two might have overdone it a bit.
Well, we might need him to come too, so that we can get some answers out of him. It looks like we're on a time frame.
Doc, you can hypospray him.
Yeah.
And get him back. So make a. This is going to be reason medicine.
May I?
While she's doing
Yes.
that, I say, perhaps if we can revive him, then we can.
I'm sorry. The pad also has a combination code on it at the bottom.
Oh.
It has. I'm sorry. I totally forgot to include that. Underneath the pad itself, the message, you see there is actually a second pad that's like a USB input that's been plugged into it, and you see it as it's sticking out. It just has like a digital number sequence on the bottom.
Should we try for it? To open it?
Yeah.
Do we see a number pad or like the input?
There's a number combination on it.
What kind of, like, what am I looking at? Is it like a tablet or is it like push buttons? Or?
It's like a tablet, sort of, and you just kind of. It's like an LCAR system, essentially, with the number sequence written on it. Judging by how many numbers are in the sequence, it would be damn near impossible to unlock this without the combination lock.
Really quickly, using the world's most obnoxious glow stick, I want to sort of turn my head to the side and use the light to confirm that the numbers in that code correlate to smudges on the tablet screen in any way, so it's not just like a silly thing.
You have to make a roll for that one.
Absolutely.
So I would say discipline, finesse, daring. That's going to be a reason security check.
Can I,
And the difficulty on that'll be 4.
I don't have that. What's the difficulty? 4?
I'm pretty sure that's mathematically impossible for me.
Yeah. Should we do something else?
So, yeah. I
could
try,
we-
I look at it.
could
Unless
we-
I literally got 2 nat ones.
Could we use momentum to give you a third dice?
With my reason security, it's not worth it.
Okay.
I mean, rolling's free. Hey. It does nothing.
Okay.
I look at it, I'm like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, trying's the only option I see. Tolosh, get into position. We don't know when we'll have company.
Tolosh keeps his disruptor out, moves to the side of the door, and just keeps watching at it. His arm cocked up to the side, and he's just staring at it, waiting for somebody
Maybe
to...
try for a
Attaboy.
non-lethal
Don't
position
worry.
if possible.
I
Okay,
won't
all
shoot
right.
the first thing that comes in the door unless
Talon?
it looks like a general.
If we could find out from our Euridian friend who he is expecting or where they are coming from, perhaps we could convince him to cooperate
I
so that
agree.
we spare his life. And I look at him very pointedly.
He's barely... Like, he's...
Doc, can we do anything about that?
See if he's alive.
Yeah, so you're going to roll now? So, yeah, the difficulty... go ahead and... what did I set the difficulty at? Was it 3? I think it was 3. No, 2.
You said
To use a hyperspray to wake somebody up?
Well, this is to determine how much he... Oh, no, I think the difficulty is 1 on this. So go ahead and make the roll real quick. Yeah, it's always... So go... It's... Unless it's like a tricorder. You know what? Let me look this up, because it might be a difficulty 0. I keep, like, dropping the difficulty on you here, but...
The hyperspray doesn't really specify anything about, like, the...
Then it might be just a straight difficulty 0 roll. So why don't we do that? So make a straight difficulty 0 roll, and this will give you a chance to build some momentum.
Sweet.
So yeah, I would say reason medicine check.
3 successes.
Okay, so gain 3 momentum. You
I spent 1
Thank you,
sword
Doctor.
for it.
He's
Running was a bad idea, and I recommend medically that you not repeat it.
won't
Gritas?
repeat it.
Gritas, is that your name?
Yeah.
What's in the cargo?
I don't know.
Who are you planning to meet here soon, and when?
A buyer.
Who is it?
They didn't say.
Where are they coming from?
They didn't say.
You did no research on your buyers?
I'm a middleman. I supply, and they buy. I
Where'd
get a
you get
cut.
your supply?
What?
Where'd you get your supply?
This time? A pack-led trader.
Too convenient.
It was passed off to me.
So, have you opened this? Do you know what's in it?
No, I never open the merchandise. It's a sure way of being killed.
I hand him the pad and say, open this.
He looks at all of you and says, I don't know what's inside of this. It could be anything.
The pad, can I do an
data pad?
intimidation check?
Yeah. That would be a
Just
present
open up
security check.
his
Just
data
the,
pad.
yeah, I mean the.
Just the data pad.
Unlock your phone.
Unlock, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Unlock the phone,
Oh.
the pad thing.
In 21st century English, we're saying unlock the phone.
He reaches over and types in a code.
I don't have to intimidate him. Okay.
The pad. No, he unlocks the pad and he says, "You're not gonna find anything on that."
Well, you don't know Lieutenant Commander Talon. Talon?
Commander Rue.
Oh, Commander Rue.
I'd like to hack the planet.
You've
I
been given
assist?
full access, so there's no rule,
Yeah.
no role necessary. What are you looking for?
I want any sort of locational stamps, metadata attached to the message. Love a timestamp. What else? Am I?
Okay. I'm gonna say make a. This will be another reason security check, and the difficulty's 3.
I wish I could give you my reason.
I know, like, hey, if we had tag team, but we don't. So, honestly,
I would let
Can't the captain do a
Be higher
command
than-
thingy?
literally anyone else's might be higher than mine.
everything
what
about
should
Star
I
Trek
do?
Adventures is about team play. So
Yeah.
if you want to get an assist with Talon looking over this,
Yeah, we'll get an
You guys-
I
assist.
think I could better assist Talon. I think your reason security is
Okay.
probably
so
higher
you're
than
looking
mine.
for any kind of patterns or discrepancies or anything like that in the pad itself.
Yeah, metadata that tells us the location of the sender and any other data about them. What
Okay.
type of computer system it might have come from.
Okay.
Take a look at that, Talon.
So
Go ahead and make the roll then. Difficulty is 3.
Reason security?
Reason is security.
let's see.
And Rue,
Yeah.
I'm going
I
to
wish I
say
had done
for
a-
you, it's going to
spent a
be.
cautious. I really should have spent a cautious.
I'm going to say insight security.
Okay.
Might not matter.
Difficulty is 3. Tell me what you got.
Do I get insight for this?
Oh, you're
My
right.
insight focus?
But I have
Huh?
to read.
What is
My
it?
insight focus?
What is it again?
The discipline.
Literally the word insight.
I don't know. I thought
We've
it was, but
mostly
I
used it for,
Your focus is insight? Oh, you mean in terms
have
of
it
like
here.
reading when people are lying to you?
yeah.
Oh, no, it would not apply
Cool.
here.
In that case, it's just one.
Yeah, discipline. You're right.
So we have one success over here.
Single
How many do we have over here?
So, one.
Oh,
I
what
should have
was,
spent a cautious.
was the difficulty
Oh, no,
3
I-
or 2?
Yeah,
3?
it was 3.
3.
Mr.
Talon, as
He's
you're
got
scanning
it.
through this, I will give you this. There definitely seems to be some patterns in the data here, some like key phrases, but you're not detecting any links to any of them.
Do I get a second? No. Do I get a second question as officer, science officer?
Only if you succeed on the roll.
Oh yeah.
But I will let you try again, but probably not this scene.
Yeah, it's all right.
So
Captain,
he's
what do we do?
he's looking at all of you.
I fear that we don't have enough information.
Captain, perhaps if we let our Euridian friend proceed with his transaction, then we can see who he's dealing with.
It's not a bad idea.
Follow them. We'll have proof.
And what do I get if I cooperate?
Well, if you work with us, you don't spend the rest of your life in prison.
That's a fair
Okay.
deal.
All right.
Excellent.
We have a deal.
How much of my life will I be spending in prison?
We'll talk about that afterwards. It depends on how dangerous this thing is and who it's going to. But as for right now, we're going to retreat to the shadows, we're going to set up some surveillance, and you will continue as planned.
All right.
Do you need to pick me up or something? I'm sure the doc here's got something to help you out. You
I
good?
don't know who's going to come through those doors.
No,
They
I know.
might be more dangerous than all of you put together, for all I know.
We'll be
I assure
fine.
you that's not the case.
You're
don't know who I
effectively
deal with.
You're effectively wearing a wire. You're tapped.
What?
If something goes wrong, we're going to be right here.
Oh,
It's a win-win for you. It'll be fine. Just sell it, get it out of the room, and then go about your day. All right? We'll discuss afterwards the severity of your punishment. And it may not be very severe depending on how this goes. Understand?
understood.
Okay.
Do I see a place where I can stash the stupid glow sticks if we're going to be stealthy?
Yeah, and there's lots of cargo containers all throughout here.
Great. I
Commander, why do you have those things?
Yes, why do you have those?
Doing a lot of stealth recently. I don't know.
mentally, I glare at Dryden.
Dryden is on the other side of the room staring at this pod. And he looks up at you and says, "You should use them."
You should be more helpful when I'm trying to get into a data pad.
What do you want to know?
What's on there? What's in there?
Janelle, my knowledge is your knowledge.
Your skills aren't my skills.
Look closely at this data pad. He looks down, standing next to you, and he's like, the combination is right in front of you. 26 numbers.
Well,
Is jamming on the outside and the inside, meaning
Yes.
they don't want anyone finding out what this is.
so how do I find out what it is?
You know what I would do?
I'm afraid to ask, but what would you do?
Open it.
Could kill everyone in this room.
It's very likely that any buyer who comes by is going to want to see to make sure that it's real, especially if they can't scan through it. Chances are, nothing in there is going to blow up.
Do you think you could help me get into it?
The code is right in front of you. If it doesn't work, we can go from there.
Right.
But if you're going to do it, you should do it now.
Captain, you want me at least to take a look very quickly in there, just in case?
Yeah, I think we should hopefully have enough time to do that at least.
All right.
We should at least know what the hell that thing is. But all right, take a look.
All right, you all get back.
Open it up.
I'm trying to look very intimidating for our prisoner.
He's looking like he is over this. Like he's just like,
But make sure your fingerprints don't land on this.
the Iridian just says, I've never been caught before. This is slightly terrifying.
Well, it's best case scenario. You got caught by us. It could have been worse.
No, that's a fair point.
All right, then shut the hell up.
All right.
Sorry.
Rue,
I enter the combination. With everyone way the frack back.
Okay, so where is everyone standing as this
and
thing
no
opens?
fingerprints.
Yeah,
I don't know. Back by the door, to
20
the
feet.
side, to the right, whatever. We're just away. We're in the shadows. We're checking it out.
Okay.
Rue.
So everyone stands back. Rue, you go through the combinations. And
I've handed off my stupid glow sticks. So I'm actually just like pretty close to the ground or like upper bodying it.
okay.
I'm doing the same thing.
You see the lattice work just glow for a second, and then and it goes starts to open, and this fog just starts wafting out of it. Nobody else can really see what Rue is seeing, but you hear Dryden's voice first go, "No." And Rue, as the smog begins to clear, your blood turns to ice, just like it did the last time you saw one of these.
Oh, no.
There is an individual in this mist, 6 feet tall in a prone position, covered in black Borg implants with yellow and green veins arcing through his neck up into his face.
No.
You see the crest of a Klingon, a dead Klingon. Judging from the arm implants all over this Borg, it is a tactical drone. And as the mist begins to clear, you immediately hear whispers in your head as the tube begins to flicker a little bit, and you hear distantly, being swallowed by the whispers, is Dryden screaming, "Janelle! Janelle! Go! Go! Janelle, run!" You guys watch Janelle, you don't know what's happening, but Janelle freezes. And you hear, and you see a red line, a laser, lance up out of the mist.
no.
At first, it looks like someone's just turned on a laser pointer. And there's no indication as to what's happening until this thing just sits up. And you hear the Iridian go, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" and just starts backpedaling immediately. Tolosh turns around immediately and without hesitation raises the disruptor and opens fire on it.
And then you're rolling to.
I'm
shoot
rolling for
the
Tolosh.
Borg?
He's gonna
Okay,
try to
great.
shoot this fucking thing.
Okay.
And I'd
great.
like to roll too next.
I am going to ask. Tolosh is going to want to burn everything into this, so I'm going to spend momentum if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Shit. This is bad.
Yeah.
This is very bad.
Okay. You're not gonna believe this, but Tolosh, in his quick draw, rapid fire, missed, and shoots the inside of the thing that was holding this Borg inside. You see this green bolt of energy explode next to the tactical drone. The tactical drone was docile as it sit ups, but immediately after the disruptor fire, it goes and zeroes in on Tolosh immediately, and then gets up and rises to its full height.
I'm running for Rue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Rue is standing right next to this thing. It's the Rue. The voices are crashing down upon your ears. You can hear them, and you can hear that this thing has established a link to the collective immediately as it was exiting the inside of this tube.
Where are their crutches?
They're right next.
I handed them off to someone.
They handed them off. We'll say that they handed them off to the
right.
doctor because that would
Great.
make sense. This Borg completely ignores you and Rue, and then dashes towards Tolosh. Tolosh goes, "Argh!" Throws down his disruptor and draws his dick talk and charges at the Borg.
I'm gonna shoot at the Borg.
Yeah.
All right. Make a roll. Difficulty is usually 2. This Borg is entering melee combat with Tolosh, so I'm going to raise the difficulty to 3.
Okay.
Please use his determination.
Yeah.
What am I rolling?
So this is going to be a daring security check. Difficulty 2.
Difficulty 3, you said.
Oh, 3. I'm sorry. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Difficulty is 3 on this.
I want to use a determination.
Yeah.
Gosh. I don't know if I can use one.
Have you written a new value in the empty slot yet?
Nope.
That
They don't-
was a Starfleet directive that would be pertinent.
Yeah, directives count.
It says under determination, perfect opportunity, you gain a bonus d20 considered to have rolled a 1. Could that apply to this?
No, perfect opportunity is, I think, a description of the role. Is that your value?
No, it's not a value. That's just under determination.
It's reminding you that that's how it works. And
Yeah.
essentially, if you've got a value or a directive that applies that you can
That could
use
work
here,
in that.
then you get to use perfect opportunity to get the auto crit.
Wasn't there a directive from Hebert?
Is there a standing directive?
Um,
Be poor.
Well, one of my values is no one gets left behind.
Hi, I'm Rue.
But like they're safe, you're saying. So this is after Tolosh.
Yeah.
Well,
Man, I don't have any other values that could work for that. I got nothing.
I would say make a roll. Spend
Yeah.
some determination.
I will spend a momentum.
Okay.
To at least make it so that I can, so it's not a physical impossibility.
Okay.
Shit. Nope. Nope. And nope. No, I got 1 success.
1 success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It goes wide.
They're faster than I thought they would be.
Tactical drones, man. This thing goes wide. I'm going to let it attack now.
oh god.
So it was your turn. Tolosh attacked first. Then it used its action to it's closing the distance. So its action is actually going to be to attack, since you get a movement, and then he can make an attack action now. So this thing is going to try to clobber Tolosh. This is going to be oh man. Okay. I'm gonna spend some threat. All right, Tolosh gets hit. This is gonna be
Not assimilated, right? Just hit.
Oh my god.
How bad of a hit?
Alright.
He's not trying to make out with the queen. He's just trying to.
Oh wow. The Borg charges right up to Tolash and raises its left arm, which looks like it has a bunch of like implants on it. And as it's about to punch, you see two tubes go right into Tolash's neck, whose eyes go wide, and then it comes back out, and Tolash crumples to the ground immediately and starts to convulse. That's his action.
How far are we from any exit right now?
The door to this place is I'd say about 40 feet away from where Tolash and the Borg are standing.
My understanding when he described you as freezing was that you are. By the time I get to Rue, are you like processing things? Because if you were frozen, I was planning to sort of do my best to carry/drag you.
Right up until that.
Okay.
That is probably the only thing that would have. So I'm going to be attempting to crawl over there because I don't have my sticks. How does this keep happening?
I have my hands around your middle because I was pulling you back away from danger. But I don't.
If you guys want to make a check to see what you know about the Borg, go ahead and make a roll.
Okay.
I'll let anybody make a roll here at this point. So to see what your characters know, you know what.
I know enough. Yeah.
You know what just happened. Go ahead and make a roll. The difficulty here is going to be 2. It's going to be a reason command or reason security. I'll allow that as well. Doctor, I will allow a medicine for you.
Okay, I've read files.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Science?
Huh? No, wouldn't be a science thing.
Dang it. Okay.
Yeah. Difficulty's 2.
I got 0. How do I not know anything about the Borg?
So it's not that you don't know anything, but a failure like that could be like, oh my, like Martinez's first thought is, I've got to get my crew out of here. You're not probably, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I want to ask the group. We only have 2 momentum right now. I'd like to spend 1 on this.
Yeah.
I got 2.
Okay.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
yeah.
We're down to 1. Oh no.
I got 3 successes, so it just gets us the 1 back. But
We don't do.
Okay.
I'm
value
guessing none
for
of
this.
my.
Xenobiology. No.
2 things. Borg will only attack when they are attacked. I have to spin, to give you an idea of game mechanic, I have to spin threat if the Borg is going to attack you and you have not provoked it.
Okay.
The other thing is you know for a fact that Tolash has just been hit with the tubes that inject Borg nanites for assimilation. Mm-hmm. It has the deadly quality, which means that the next few moments for Tolash are going to be vital and could mean his worse than death fate. But right now, Doctor and Talon, if you do not make any threatening moves towards the Borg, it will assume the threat has been neutralized.
Okay.
Even though it is still very dangerous, none of you are in danger if you don't attack it.
I fired at it.
Yeah, you did.
That was before we.
Right. I definitely fired
Martinez took a belligerent action against the Borg.
Mm-hmm.
When? I thought that already
He-
happened.
when it was
like-
running to Tolash.
When he was running at
Right.
Tolash, he took a shot and missed.
So he,
Okay, and missed.
Yeah, but still.
He took
I a
belligerent
shot.
action towards the Borg.
Tolash missed him too. So as soon as he's done, I'm next. He's gonna turn on to me. I'm next.
I gently stop pulling Rue. Who?
Yeah,
is
you're the
also
person who has
towards
my crushes.
We are partway there. How far back did we make it?
I don't know
think-
where you were pulling me either. 'cause
How heavy are they?
Tolash was near the doorway. I believe I'm in the 145 weight class.
Sorry. How heavy are the crutches? Would it?
I don't know anymore, but
I would
pretty
say
light,
they're-
pretty damn lightweight.
easy for me to carry
be
with
super-
me as I went.
Incredibly, yes.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I carried them as I.
I'm snatching them and I'm running.
And I would
Okay.
like to
To
run.
danger.
I need to restrain them.
And I'm headed for Tolash.
Okay.
Right, so we're both going in the same direction and I'm going there
Yeah, we're
real,
all running to-
real frickin' fast.
Okay.
I'd like to also
Because
shout
I know
out.
what the implication is of Martinez having shot at the Borg, even though I'm fucked up right now.
And I'm shouting out, "Do not provoke! Do not provoke!" Rue.
And
do
I'm
not
going
provoke.
to be provoking.
All right, you're going to charge in there. I will let you attack this drone.
Yep.
You charge up there. Go ahead and make your physical attack.
Determination.
Okay.
Protect my ship and its crew.
Yes, that is totally a value I'd let you use.
Cool. So that's for 2. I'm going to be attacking with my crutches. Is there anything I need to know whether it has a charge quality or something, or am I just hitting? I haven't hit anything with my crutches.
No,
and
it basically it has a charge quality to it, but it's basically your crutches essentially have Vicious 1.
They already had Vicious 1.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vicious 2. Sorry, I upgraded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they have Vicious 2.
So I do that. I use a die. I use cautious, and I have 3 dice, and I use a minor action to aim, and I attack.
I'm just gonna text Gina not to show up next week. It's not about it.
That is 5.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You might have to burn momentum to use the minor action to aim because you used your action to run up to this thing.
That's fine.
Okay, fine. Yes,
That's
I do
fine.
that.
Okay.
Great.
We're down to 1 momentum.
I do that. That's 5. 5 plus 2 is 7 attack.
Okay, you hit it.
Okay.
You strike
that's
this
good.
thing. Roll
Good.
damage.
Yeah.
Does that give us any momentum?
I do. 7 on a DC. Depending on what the drone's roll was against me, we get the net momentum back.
Yeah.
I haven't rolled for him yet. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I have to roll for him.
Yeah.
I just thought it was. I forgot that it was a straight. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. It's gonna be. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend a threat.
Oh, I should see if I get my determination back. I don't. Great. That makes sense.
So I got. All right. So how many successes did you get?
7.
So he got 3.
Okay, so we get 4 momentum
Beautiful.
back.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, we're probably gonna be re-rolling these. Hi guys, how's life?
Hey, we might.
Possibly
End it
ending soon.
Yeah.
Let's see, that's 2. I'm gonna take 1 more to re-roll these 2 in damage. Excellent. Good. That was what I needed. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Not okay. Okay. That's an additional 2 damage, so that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 17. 17 damage on the attack.
17 damage.
Yes.
Okay. You slam the crutch into this tactical drone, and it leaves its feet and crashes to the ground. You just rush up there with the doctor rushing right alongside you, except for when you stop and strike this thing, the doctor stops over the body of Tolosh. Tolosh is just... And you're watching this Klingon's skin start to turn a pale color as green veins begin to arc up in its neck. What were you doing, Talon?
I was running with them.
Okay, so you're up there with Rue?
Yeah.
Okay, once you reach them, what do you do? What are you doing?
Is the
Too late, they attacked.
Is the Borg
It's too late.
is the Borg moving or?
The Borg has just struck the ground. It is not out, no.
I wish I knew more about the Borg so I could know how to like really incapacitate.
Question. We're on shore leave. Does the USS Ellie still have like a working crew?
Yeah.
A beta shift? Are there still people?
This is a skeleton crew. Yeah.
Skeleton crew?
Beam it into the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, oh shit, yeah.
Actually, a great idea. Yeah.
What do you-
great.
Beam it into the sun.
But also get
Okay.
Talash to medbay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we have to do. Because I don't know what the medical services with the
Yeah.
complement is on the base.
So we'll get to your action in a second. I just need to know what Talon's doing.
I'm saying
Yeah,
things
I'm
out loud so
yeah.
people can hear them.
Yeah.
This is helping because I
Okay,
don't know.
so what are you
what
gonna do? We gotta speed it along because we gotta wrap it up.
And I have a thing called first response. I get a bonus d20 to treatment tasks during combat, and I may always succeed at cost.
Talon, what's your action?
I would like to strike the Borg.
Okay, make a melee combat roll.
Oh, what? What am I
took one.
doing?
It's daring
Vulcan.
plus security.
Do you have a nerve pinch thing?
Nerve pinch him. Will
I
it
have
work?
nerve pinch. Would that work on a Borg?
You don't know.
Let's
I feel
try.
like if it doesn't
Let's
work
try
on
it.
Khan Noonien Singh, I don't know if it's going to work on the board.
Sorry, what do I roll exactly?
Do you? I don't have the information for nerve pitch in front of me. See that?
No pressure counts as a melee weapon with 1 intense, size 1H, non-lethal quality. May use science or medicine instead of security.
I should have used a swift.
Yeah!
Do it.
So,
Science instead
Make
of
the roll.
security.
Difficulty is 1.
Pinch his
but
ass.
what, like, So I use science, but what's my attribute?
It's going to be daring. It's going to be daring and science.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2. Oh no. Ugh. 1. Oh, I can re-roll one of them.
Do it quick.
I got the same thing.
You reach down daringly, just grabbing this thing's neck, and you squeeze it on the side, and it just looks at you. And then you see its head just kind of crane up, and it doesn't look at Rue. It doesn't look at the captain. It immediately looks at Throlo, who's grabbing. She's
not even doing anything.
Who's grabbing the Klingon and helping him up, and.
Why did I do that? Oh God.
He's gonna attack.
Can I roll
Throlo.
my stabilize before that happened? Or
Nope,
did I
it's
use
his
my
action.
action to move? Okay.
It's his action.
We have. It's combat though. I have quick to action. It's the first round.
Okay. Make it now. What are you doing?
Save flash.
If you just that was a direct
We
thing.
got
so
4
that I
minutes, so whatever you're doing, you got to do it.
I don't. That was words. I don't have
What are you doing?
the direct action. I already used mine.
do I have an action or not?
You have an
Yes.
action.
Oh, great. Thanks. Sorry.
Yep.
I got hung up there. I am. Bring on the next emergency is one of my values.
I'll let you have that. Yeah.
Or you help who you can where you can. And so that's an auto crit. This I'm assuming is a treatment task in combat.
You figure
I'm
what?
stabilizing Tola.
Yes.
And it's a treatment task during combat. Which is a attempt to stabilize an injured character. It's a daring medicine task with a difficulty of 1.
Go ahead and make it. Yeah.
Do you want
I've
one
got
of these too?
Just to be clear, these are nanites, so you're not going to be able to save him, but you are going to be able to stop him from.
You said it had the deadly quality.
Yes.
Which is what I need to prevent by the end of this.
You're gonna stop his biological functions from ceasing at this point, because the Borg nanites are gonna press the reset button on it. So go ahead and make the roll.
Yep.
Did you grab one of these? You need.
I get a bonus for that, and then what's the max number of dice I can be rolling? 4 or 5? Does anyone remember? I'm just gonna go with 4. It's a difficulty 1.
5.
Daring medicine is
Okay.
14.
If you
Remember,
go ahead.
movement is a minor action at the end of this.
I already moved on this turn though.
You can buy another minor action with 1 momentum.
It was difficulty 1, and I got 2 successes, so it's not great. But
But you had an
Okay.
auto crit. You had an auto crit.
that's true.
It's fine. You only need a difficulty 1, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter how well you crit, you succeed. Just if you're burning momentum for further stuff, but you managed to, and you see Tolosh kind of, and he looks at you, and you see shock and maybe a little fear from the Klingon. Spend 2 threat. Oh boy.
All right, I'm texting Gina and Bonnie. No show next week. Don't bother.
We're all Borg now.
Coming.
Joke's on you. Already was. Not doing it again.
You see a glimmer of hope as you stabilize Tolosh, and you watch as Throlo, disregarding her own safety, manages to stop the Klingon's body from collapsing in on itself as his immune system is desperately fighting the nanites. And then you see the assimilation tubes right into Throlo's side, right here on your neck. Just reaches up and
Oh my god.
and we have to stop. We have to stop because we are like 3 minutes left. So
Wait, what just happened?
Oh my
the
god.
Borg successfully attacked Throlo with the assimilation
Oh my God.
tubes.
There's something we have to.
Fuck.
Is there something to force a reroll?
Remember just
We'll have
now
to find
when
out
you
next
told me
week because we gotta go
move?
now.
Yep.
Sorry for that Campbell cliffhanger, but I will tell you that we will start the next session in combat.
You don't frickin' say!
So
Just close it out. There's nothing left to say here.
I'm sorry, that did not go the way I was expecting it to go. So we're gonna go ahead and close out
sorry.
for now.
I did it again. I screwed
I'm
Throlo
guessing
again.
you're not gonna want to miss the next episode that's coming up in a few
We
minutes
all
of
screwed
Behind the
Throlo
Shield.
again. We all did it.
No, I'm the only one who didn't get a date before I died.
And stay tuned for Behind the Shield. It's coming up on Alpha, and we will see you next Friday. Until then, hailing frequencies are closed.